Chapter 26. Sun Weiyuan was not at all surprised that he could learn Spirit Bomb. Just kidding, his strength was improved by relying on his vitality. Even Sun Weiyuan himself didn't believe that he couldn't learn the Spirit Bomb. What he didn't expect was that he would get an unexpected reward. He couldn't explain the specific changes, but his body's perception of the vital energy began to become clearer. It was no longer like before when he could sense the existence of the vital energy, but like seeing flowers in the fog. Also, his ability to absorb vital energy was greatly enhanced. He was confident that his combat power would reach 1 million within 10 days, and there were still about 3 years before Piccolo Daimao was released. If Piccolo Daimao can spit out an egg, it will take about 6 years for the new Piccolo to appear. And how many years will it take for Sun Weiyuan's elder brother Raditz to be on Earth? He needs to calculate. After Son Goku fought the newborn Piccolo, he married Shishi and gave birth to his son Son Gohan the following year. When Son Gohan was 4 years old, Raditz came to Earth, captured Son Gohan and threatened Son Goku to kill the Earthlings, so there are still 11 years left. That is to say, the combat power must reach at least 1 billion within these 11 years, otherwise the combat power of the people who appear next will be more abnormal than the other. Son Goku's strength has also been constantly rising during this period, and it is out of control. In the original work, it was Krillin's death that made Son Goku furious and turn into a Super Saiyan, but now little Goku has the best relationship with his big brother. When Goku's combat power reaches 3 million, he dies once to make him a Super Saiyan. Impossible, he couldn't afford to lose face with that guy, but although Goku was lively and active, he had a very good personality. It was not easy to anger him, so he had to study it carefully in advance. And as for his older brother Raditz, should he kill him outright or put him under house arrest? If he should just kill him, then forget it, as house arrest is too troublesome. Just having one older brother is enough, right? 3 years have passed in a flash. The 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament is about to begin. Piccolo Daimao should have been released. Even though he is on King Kai Star, Sun Weiyuan can already feel the evil aura appearing on Earth. Little Goku's strength has increased quite quickly, from 10,000 combat power to 180,000. Sun Goiwan couldn't judge what the limit of his combat power was after using Kaioken, because he didn't know how many times Kaioken little Goku could use. There is one more thing. Little Goku is still the same little Goku. His height growth has been slow in the past 3 years and is almost the same as it was 3 years ago. It will take the next 3 years for them to grow rapidly. Saiyan is really a strange race. Goku, it's been 3 years. It's time for us to go back. But I still want to continue training here with Lord Kai. Little Goku looked at King Kai reluctantly. King Kai was shocked by this. Goku, I have taught you everything I can. Don't even think about eating and drinking for free at my place. You have almost eaten up all the food I stored. Next time you come to my place, prepare your own food. Goodbye, Lord Kai. We will come to visit you when we have time. ×2 let's go. If you leave I can have some peace and quiet for a long time. Brother, do we still have to go back through the snake path? Son Goku asked. No need, we can use instant transmission to go back. Sun Weiyuan said confidently. Is he going to teleport into the women's restroom again? Goku recalled the last time his elder brother took him to participate in the world's #1 martial arts tournament. Those women were really troublesome. No, even though I haven't used instant transmission for 3 years, I have been researching it. Sun Weiyuan patted his chest and said, hold on tight, we are going back. King Kai looked at the two brothers who disappeared in an instant. The entire Kai King planet seemed to become much more deserted and lonely. He couldn't help but mutter to himself, I didn't expect that I would feel a little uncomfortable with their sudden departure. Somewhere on Earth, see. Big brother didn't lie to you, we really didn't show up in the women's restroom this time. Little Goku pointed at the white figures and asked, where is this place, big brother? Why are there so many girls taking a bath together? He also gradually learned to distinguish between men and women. When he saw 2 prominent lumps of flesh on their chests, he knew they were girls. Sun Weiyuan looked around calmly and said, Goku, calm down, don't panic. The next second he instant transmission left, leaving Goku at a loss again. What the hell, how could a pure and upright person like me appear in places that prohibit men from entering one after another? But to be honest, the scene just now was really spectacular. It was the first time I had seen it in my 2 lifetimes. It was worth coming to this Dragon Ball world, Hehe. Is God telling me that it's time to get married? No, it's not time to get married yet. A time traveler with a background and ambitions must wait until the 18th comes out. Little Goku scratched the back of his head. Why is Big Brother gone again? I want to learn instant transmission someday. Ah! A large group of girls full of youthful vitality screamed shrilly in unison. Little Goku muttered in confusion, "Why are you screaming again?" Then he left, leaving behind a chaotic scene with underwear flying everywhere. Somewhere in the sky, Pilaf and the other two huddled together in a corner, shivering. Sitting in front of them was Piccolo Daimao, the man they had released with their own hands, whose skin was so green that it was frightening. Piccolo Daimao is now as old as the gods, and orders his men to search for the Dragon Ball, hoping to make a wish to regain his youth, and to find out if there are any powerful martial artists on Earth, like the master Wu Taitu who used the manhwa to seal him away 300 years ago. But there was no news about Dragon Ball, which made Piccolo Daimao more and more impatient. You still don't have any news about Dragon Ball? When Pilaf and the other two heard Piccolo Daimao's question, their hearts were pounding so hard that they almost jumped into their throats. Then they hurriedly checked the instruments. This time he actually found the trace of Dragon Ball and said in great surprise, "Yes, there is news." Pilaf looked again and saw that there were 7 Dragon Balls in one place. "Congratulations, Demon King!" 7 Dragon Balls appeared in one place together. Piccolo Daimao was ecstatic and forgot all about being a martial artist. He wanted Dragon Ball and to regain his youth, so he immediately ordered Pilaf and the other two to fly the plane to the location of Dragon Ball. He wanted to take action himself and summon Shenron to make a wish. The demon's rule over the world was just around the corner. Ha 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 ha. Piccolo Daimao laughed heartily. The place where these 7 Dragon Balls appeared is naturally Baizai Mountain. The 5 Dragon Balls that Son Goku obtained from destroying the Red Ribbon Army and the 2 Dragon Balls he collected himself have been kept on him without being used. Before, he and Goku were on King Kai's planet, and the equipment made by Pilaf and the other two could only detect the approximate position of Dragon Ball on Earth, so their equipment had never responded to Dragon Ball before, and they had to carefully check and repair it many times. Chapter 27. Sun Weiyuan on Baizai Mountain had already discovered Piccolo Daimao's presence a long time ago, but he just didn't want to deal with him for the time being. What he never expected was that Piccolo Daimao seemed to be flying in his direction, door-to-door delivery service. "Piccolo Daimao, ah Piccolo Daimao, why are you so impatient? I haven't even prepared any arrangements for you. You're here too early." Sun Weiyuan thought to himself. He is actually not interested in Piccolo Daimao, but in the new Piccolo. Firstly, the new Piccolo does not have the pure evil of Piccolo Daimao, but is also a martial artist with good potential. Secondly, Piccolo will be the personal nanny and martial arts coach of Goku's son Gohan in the future. He not only took care of and taught Goku's son Gohan, but also took care of his granddaughter Xiao Fang. The key is that this nanny doesn't need to be provided with food, lodging, or salary, she only needs to drink some water. It's a free private nanny, why not miss it? The question now is whether Sun Weiyuan will do it himself or let little Goku do it. "I'm too lazy to do it, so I'll leave this job to my younger brother Goku. I'll just eat spicy noodles and watch over there. Oh, and there's also my little stool." Everything was ready. When Sun Weiyuan felt that Piccolo Daimao was about to arrive, he pulled Goku out from the gravity room. Bulma and Dr. Brief spent 3 years developing a gravity chamber with a maximum gravity of 300 times, and Goku dived into it to practice. "Brother, I've only been practicing for a short while. Don't practice yet. When someone comes over, you can deal with him. Just take action." Little Goku couldn't understand why his big brother always let such weak opponents disturb his training. When would he be able to catch up with his big brother? You'll know in a moment. You'll be surprised. Piccolo Daimao's men arrived before they did. "Ha ha ha, 7 Dragon Balls, I, Piccolo Daimao, am here, mortals, hand over your Dragon Balls, and if I'm happy, I might even spare your lives." Little Goku widened his eyes, looking at Piccolo Daimao's skin, which was as green as that of a god, and asked in surprise, "God? No, the aura is wrong. God doesn't have this kind of cold and evil aura." The gods in the temple also sent a voice to Sun Weiyuan at this time. "Weiyuan, I would like to ask you to completely eliminate Piccolo Daimao." I didn't expect the gods to be so concerned about Piccolo Daimao's situation. "Tian Shen, are you sure you want me to completely destroy Piccolo Daimao? Wouldn't that affect you yourself?" "No, Piccolo Daimao is just the embodiment of my evil side. Killing him will not affect me, said the god guiltily. Sun Weiyuan naturally didn't believe what the gods said, so he said, the gods and Piccolo Daimao are one, he is equivalent to your other half, can a person survive with only half of him? So I am more inclined to believe that your lives are connected, and if one suffers, all will suffer. Killing Piccolo Daimao is equivalent to killing you, am I right, God? Tian Shen was silent for a while. Brother, how come he looks exactly like Tian Shen? Goku had a lot of question marks on his head. Goku, didn't I tell you? Son Goku shook his head, forgetting that he wasn't there when he told Kylin Sage about his dream about Piccolo Daimao. He and the god were originally one person, but later they were separated into two people, one good and one evil. He is the evil side of the god. Sun Weiyuan quickly explained to Son Goku. Little Goku was shocked but also confused. How can a person become both good and evil? It's really confusing. Piccolo Daimao was ignored by the two people and was angry and shocked. He was angry that the two ants in his eyes dared to ignore him, and he was shocked that one of them knew so much about his birth. It doesn't matter if you don't understand, you just need to know. Sun Weiyuan suddenly paused and said, what if Piccolo Daimao refuses to spit out the eggs? Weiyuan, kill him. The piece of the earth cannot be destroyed again because of me. I am an incompetent god, so after I die, I would like you to inherit the throne of God. The god said with some loneliness and self-blame. Life is so beautiful, why do you want to die? No. Tian Shen, send a message to Goku and tell him to beat Piccolo Daimao so badly that he is nearly dead. Don't worry about why for now, I'll tell you later. Little Goku was also a little confused after receiving the message from the god. Why didn't he just die? Why let Piccolo Daimao die more slowly? At the same time, Piccolo Daimao was angry because of the two people's disregard. Two mortals with such weak aura dared to ignore him, the Demon King who once made the world tremble. It was simply unforgivable. Two ki blasts were fired from his fingers at Goiwan and Little Goku, but Goiwan dodged and retreated. Little Goku stood there and let ki blast hit him. Humph, you don't know how to live or die. Nani, unscathed, how is that possible? Sun Weiyuan held his forehead with his hand. Why is Goku trying to be cool? Clothes also cost money. He has to change his clothes again. Goku, remember what the gods said. Son Goku nodded, and then went up to fight Piccolo Daimao fiercely for 300 rounds, forcing the elderly Piccolo Daimao to use some secret method to restore his strength to his heyday in a short period of time. On the top of Baizai Mountain, Sun Weiyuan sat on a small bench, watching the fight between the two while eating spicy noodles with gusto. When it comes to letting water out, you're the best, brother. No wonder when the Dragon Ball Super Elex participated in the Tournament of Power, Krillin was able to fight you when you transformed into Super Blue. The Atlantic Ocean over there was overflowing with the water you let out. More than an hour later, Piccolo Daimao's breath became extremely weak. Oh my god, there won't be any accidents. Seeing that Piccolo Daimao had started to breathe in more than exhale, he took a deep breath the next moment. I'm not going to die, am I? Where's the egg I'm looking forward to? Where's the future nanny of our Sun family? Piccolo Daimao, you better hold on, lay eggs quickly. Piccolo Daimao's neck swelled up and he was about to open his mouth. It's coming, it's about to come out of the mouth, Piccolo Daimao, hold on, hold on. Piccolo Daimao exhaled, his last breath, and then he passed away. What a big devil, it takes so long for it to lay an egg. When I caught an old hen in my previous life, it flapped its wings and jumped, and an egg laid. It was such a simple thing. It's not even a little bit worse than the old hen I raised in my family in my previous life. Brother, I seem to have messed up. He seems to be dead. Did the god die with him? Little Goku said a little uneasily. He had obviously been very careful to control his strength when fighting Piccolo Daimao. Chapter 28. Brother, don't worry. Let me ask first. Are you still alive, God? Strange, why am I not dead yet? Isn't Piccolo Daimao already dead? The god replied. Sun Weiyuan looked at Piccolo Daimao's body, and the egg in its bloated neck that had not yet had time to be born. Please wait a moment, God. We will know the result soon. Goku, go get me a knife. I can use it. Although little Goku didn't understand, he still went to the kitchen and took out a kitchen knife. Sun Weiyuan was a little speechless. He used a kitchen knife to perform a tumor cutting surgery on Piccolo Daimao. Can he still use it to cut vegetables afterwards? It's like using a scalpel on a hospital operating table to peel an apple for you. Would you still be able to eat the apple knowing that? Sun Weiyuan didn't know about the others, but he was the kind of person who couldn't accept it. Goku, you should go back to the kitchen with the kitchen knife, it won't fit. There was no other choice. Sun Weiyuan could only condense his energy into a weapon, and with just a few strokes he cut off the tumor on Piccolo Daimao's neck. Sun Weiyuan was very satisfied with his clean and neat knife skills. If you want to know who is the best at tumor cutting, go to Baizai Mountain to find Weiyuan. I am really a surgical genius. Did the gods see this? I have rescued your other half for you. Sun Weiyuan said with a smile. The god thought about it again and again, but still said worriedly, if it is not completely resolved, it will be a big hidden danger after all, and it may still destroy the peace of the earth. Stop, God, I think it is a brand new life. It is no longer the Piccolo Daimao that destroyed the peace of the earth in the past. It is it, and Piccolo Daimao is just its father or mother. Who can say what it will become in the future? Besides, with Goku and I here, how can it really make a big fuss? Sun Goiwan said nonchalantly. Then I'll leave everything to you and Goku. After chatting with the gods, Sun Weiyuan looked at the egg in his hand. It was so small, even smaller than a volleyball. I wonder if Piccolo is useless. He thought carefully about the reasons for this situation. Piccolo Daimao's failure to regain his youth might be the biggest reason for the egg's shrinkage, and Piccolo Daimao and little Goku had been fighting for too long, and perhaps his vitality had been almost exhausted, causing Piccolo Daimao to not only be able to make a reduced version of the egg, but also not even have the strength to lay an egg. Anyway, he was not sure whether Piccolo could be hatched from this egg. Anyway, it was definitely congenitally deficient. What would he use to make up for Piccolo in the future? But the Namek people don't seem to drink this tonic soup. They only drink water, which makes it more difficult. He also considered using the 7 Dragon Balls on hand to summon Shenron to make up for the inherent deficiencies of the future Piccolo, but Dragon Balls are something that should be used sparingly. It is said that using too much will have some unpredictable consequences. Sun Weiyuan had an immature idea, which was to ask if he could stuff the egg into the stomach of the god, and renurture it through the god's body, which should be able to make up for the congenital deficiency. But before that, we have to make sure whether the gods can still lay eggs. If they can't even lay eggs, forget about putting them back and giving birth again. If the gods can hatch eggs, that's fine. Sun Weiyuan used an instant transmission to appear next to the god. Weiyuan, why are you here? God, I have something important that I have wanted to ask you for a long time. Can I ask you? Go ahead. Piccolo Daimao can create monsters by laying eggs with his mouth, can you, God? No, when Piccolo Daimao and I separated, we each gained different abilities. Piccolo Daimao gained this ability, and I retained the ability to create Dragon Balls. Sun Weiyuan ended the conversation with the god with regret. He also thought of a place, which was Namek, the hometown of the god. He could look for an aura similar to that of the gods, then instantly transmit to Namek and throw the egg to the great elder of the Namek people to deal with, and maybe he could also solve the evil heart that Piccolo had in his early days. Back at Baizai Mountain, he pulled little Goku out of the gravity room again. Brother. What's the matter again? I was just training. Don't complain, I'll take you to a place where there might be a surprise you can't imagine. Brother, are you going to use instant transmission to take me again? Will there be another accident? What kind of accident could happen? It's just a slight position deviation at most. Even your big brother doesn't believe it. Sun Weiyuan gave his younger brother a loud and crisp slap on the head. He should beat his younger brother as soon as possible, otherwise he might not be able to beat him at any time. Just thinking about it made him sad. This time we are going to Namek, a place full of androgynous people, where there is no need to worry about teleporting to a place where females gather. Sun Goiwan disappeared on Baizai Mountain with little Goku. Old Sun Gohan took a look at the 2 disappeared brothers. He was happy but also felt that time passed so quickly. The 2 little ones he brought home to raise had grown up in the blink of an eye. The 2 appeared in a Namek village, and little Goku said in surprise, "Wow Omega, brother, where is this place? There are so many Piccolo Daimao." Sun Weiyuan felt speechless. Goku, feel their aura, they don't have the evil aura of Piccolo Daimao. It's true. They look like gods. Little Goku is face blind to Namek people. He can't tell who is who except for their height, weight, and body shape. Then he teleported with Son Goku to the position of the Great Elder. Nielu looked at the two people who suddenly appeared and asked very vigilantly, "Who are you?" "Outsiders, if you have nothing to do, I ask you to leave." "Hello, smiley face, we have important business to discuss with the Great Elder. Please inform him." Sun Weiyuan said politely. "Niru, let them in. I can feel that there is no evil aura on them." Just after Sun Weiyuan finished speaking, the voice of the Great Elder came from the strangely shaped house. "Yes, Great Elder, both of you follow me." After entering the house, Sun Weiyuan looked at the elder in front of him. "Big, so big." Little Goku said directly, "This Piccolo is so big." Nielu shouted at Little Goku to stop his disrespectful behavior, but the Great Elder didn't care and told him to step aside. The two brothers Sun Goiwan were looking at him, and he was also looking at them. He could see what Little Goku was thinking at a glance and easily obtained a lot of useful information. However, when he used mind reading on Sun Weiyuan, it was of no use at all. Not only did Sun Weiyuan not have any evil aura, he even made him feel a little friendly. Even he, who was knowledgeable, felt puzzled. "My friends from afar, what do you want to see me about?" Chapter 29. "Friends from afar, what do you want from me?" the elder asked calmly. Sun Weiyuan took out the egg without saying a word. The moment the Great Elder saw the egg, he immediately sensed an aura similar to that of the Namek people, but there seemed to be a faint evil aura. "We come from Earth, which is far away from here. Hundreds of years ago, a young Namek child came to Earth. He was later chosen by the previous god and became a candidate for succession to the god." Sun Weiyuan briefly explained what had happened. He should have been one of the gifted children sent out when Namek encountered a disaster hundreds of years ago. "I didn't expect that there were other members of the tribe who survived besides Namek. According to what you said, Weiyuan, the god Piccolo should have been an all-round genius at first. In order to become a god, he was forcibly split into two, and his innate talent was halved. Otherwise, his strength would not be so weak. Thank you for sending our people back. I have already understood its situation clearly. It is not too difficult to deal with it." At this time, Sun Weiyuan seemed to suddenly remember something, and said with an embarrassed look, "Grand Elder, I heard from King Kai that the Namek people have some very strange abilities, such as making Dragon Balls and developing people's potential. I would like to ask you to develop our potential for us, okay?" Just as Nielu was about to stop him, the Great Elder said, "It's okay, Nielu, is this Lord King Kai, the supreme god who governs the Northern Galaxy? I didn't expect that I could be noticed by a high-level god. I can indeed unlock some potential for people. You are warriors with a heart of justice, so there is no problem in unlocking your potential." "Thanks, Goku, you go first." "Brother, what is development potential?" It seems that little Goku has been listening quietly to him and the Great Elder talking for a long time, but still doesn't understand. This is really Goku. To put it simply, it can quickly improve your strength and make you stronger. Do you understand? Little Goku got excited again after hearing this and walked up to him and asked, "Great Elder, what should I do?" The Great Elder motioned for him to come over, and Goku walked over like a good boy, and a hand that was bigger than a palm leaf fan was placed on his head. "I didn't expect you to be so strong at such a young age. Your energy is several times stronger than Niru's." Nilu was very shocked when he heard what the Great Elder said. You know, he is not only the Great Elder's bodyguard, responsible for the safety of the Great Elder, but also the most powerful combat type Namek on Namek. Unexpectedly, Son Goku, who is still a child, has several times the strength of him. How much stronger would Son Goku's brother Son Goiwan be? He couldn't imagine it. Is this a warrior who can recognize a god of the level of King Kai? Too strong, but does he need to develop his potential to become stronger? What the Great Elder said was only Son Goku's basic combat power. Son Goku also knows his Kaioken, and his highest combat power is definitely more than just a few times that of Niru. Your potential is bottomless, endless, and endless. I can only develop a small part of your potential. Then Son Goku's aura began to rise steadily, and white aura gushed out from his body. Sun Weiyuan could feel that Son Goku's strength increased about 10 times in just a short while. Wow, I feel so powerful. Big brother, I think I can't help but fight with you. Little Goku was shaking with excitement. Okay. Sun Weiyuan agreed. Brother, you want to challenge me just after your strength has increased. I will tell you that your brother is still your brother. You can't be arrogant even if your strength has increased. Do you understand? Great Elder, Goku, and I will be back soon. Son Goiwan and little Goku stood in the air far away from the Great Elder's residence. The two brothers looked at each other, and sparks seemed to fly in the air where their eyes met. Son Goku dodged and rushed in front of Sun Weiyuan. Before he could attack, Sun Weiyuan slapped him on the head and said, "You are still trying to test your big brother. I will teach you a lesson." Little Goku's body shot into the ground, and he emerged from the pit with his clothes in tatters. "Brother, don't you even warm up before a fight? I've taught you so many times. When facing a strong enemy, don't try to test him. Just use 200% of your strength. Otherwise, you will be killed instantly by him." "I see. Do you know? You have told me so many times. You know. You understand, but if you do it again next time, Sun Weiyuan is a little tired. Just let him be. No matter what." Son Goku unleashed his full strength, and the sweat of the Niru beside the Great Elder dripped down drop by drop. The other Namek people on Namek also sensed this terrifying aura and stopped all the work at hand. That direction is where the Great Elder is. After being shocked, many Namek people became worried about the safety of the Great Elder and rushed in that direction. Sun Weiyuan did not explode his own aura. In a fight of this level, he could use his body to control the energy and explode it at the moment of the fight, which would greatly reduce the consumption of energy and prolong the fighting time. "Brother, be careful. I'm very strong now." "Goku, you have indeed become stronger, but that is not enough. Ah, fight, fight, fight." Goku attacked with all his might, and kept shouting. "If this is all your strength, then it's over now," Sun Weiyuan said in a master-like manner. After all, being strong is only a temporary thing, while being handsome is a lifelong thing. He can still clearly distinguish between the two. Oh, it's not over yet," Goku said hurriedly, fearing that his elder brother would slap him on the back of the head after saying something similar like he did before, and he would faint. "This has just begun, Triple Kaioken, ha!" The red transparent flame enveloped little Goku's entire body. Turtle-style Kung Fu wave. "Is it another confrontation? I am also a member of the Sun family, so will your eldest brother be afraid of you?" Sun Goiwan simply raised his right hand and fired a Kamehameha wave as well, quickly pushing back Goku's ki blast. Quadruple Kaioken. 5 times Kaioken. 10 times Kaioken. This has exceeded the limit of what his body can bear. I really can't do anything with you. I'm not your enemy. Why are you trying so hard? Looks like I'll have to spend another senzu bean. Goku once again fell from the sky due to exhaustion. When Sun Goiwan caught him, he kept shouting, "Pain, pain, pain. Brother, you are really amazing. I have become so much stronger and even used Kaioken to its full potential, but I still can't beat you." "Of course. Don't you see who is the eldest brother and who is the younger brother? I have told you many times that your eldest brother is still your eldest brother. Even if you become stronger, I am still your eldest brother," Sun Weiyuan said to his younger brother. "Brother, I don't know why. Seeing your expression makes me want to punch you in the face." Little Goku opened his innocent big eyes and said with a smile. "Nonsense, this expression paired with your brother's handsome face is simply too cool, okay? It can't be the expression you said that deserves a beating. Some sins are indeed self-inflicted. My brother is not very sensible. Why don't you keep the senzu bean? He can still cry out in pain, so the problem should not be too serious." Chapter 30. When Sun Goiwan returned to the Great Elder's residence with little Goku in his arms, he saw a large group of Namek people gathered together, and he became a little face blind. A group of green people stood at the door. The older they got, the greener they looked. What a wonderful race! As the elder brother of little Goku, he is still very kind. Although he did not use senzu beans to make him recover instantly, he asked a healing Namek to heal Goku. Then the Great Elder unlocked Sun Goiwan's potential, but this time it was not as easy as when he unlocked Son Goku's potential. "Your body is extremely strange. I have never seen you in this condition before. According to your earthling bloodline, you shouldn't have such great potential. But your potential is sometimes like the vast starry sky, with unlimited potential, and sometimes like a spring that is about to dry up, having reached its limit. Your bloodline is very unusual, but what puzzles me is that you are obviously of Earthling descent. Could it be that your bloodline has evolved? The elder spoke as if he was talking to Sun Weiyuan, or as if he was talking to himself. Sun Weiyuan is naturally very clear about the difference between himself and other Earthlings. He is not just a soul, and his body is not from this world. He is an Earthling and not a human. What he really didn't know was whether the ability of his body to absorb vital energy was a legacy left by his ancestors, or whether there were changes during the time travel that he couldn't understand or relate to, otherwise how could his body have turned into that of a baby? The Great Elder sweated profusely while unlocking Sun Weiyuan's potential, which took a long time. Neilu was very worried about the Great Elder's physical condition and wanted to stop him from continuing to develop Sun Weiyuan's potential. At a certain moment, Sun Weiyuan's body seemed to have opened some shackles, and all the restrained aura began to be released. The momentum soared into the sky, sweeping in all directions, like a surging wave, each wave stronger than the last. The Namek people were shocked beyond words. The strongest Namek, Nalu, was shaking uncontrollably. Is this really a power that a human can possess? Little Goku's body was shaking uncontrollably. Unlike Neera's fear, he was inexplicably excited. Is this all the energy of Big Brother? It's stronger than I thought. When can I really have a big fight with Big Brother? If Sun Weiyuan knew what he was thinking at the moment, he would definitely satisfy this unforgiving brother. He had just made himself miserable, and now the Namek people healed him too quickly. He was itching for trouble again and wanted his big brother to give him a beating. Sun Weiyuan felt the change in his strength. It was about 3 times stronger than before he developed his potential. The improvement was not as exaggerated as Goku's 10 times, but it was already very impressive. Do I really have the great potential that the Great Elder said? Should I consider looking for an old Supreme Kai in the Supreme Kai world to develop my potential in the future? After all, the Great Elder's ability is far from mine. He was also a little worried that the old Supreme Kai would discover his identity as an outsider. The old Supreme Kai had been sealed in the Supreme Kai sword 75 million years ago. It was hard to be sure that this old monster, who had lived for an unknown number of tens of thousands of years, would not be discovered. The most important point is that he is not sure what the attitude of the Supreme God of this world is towards outsiders. Who would like the feeling of having their life in the hands of others? I've been thinking a little too far ahead. Food must be eaten bite by bite, and things must be completed one by one. There is only one last thing left to do in Namek before it can be completed successfully. Great Elder, I came to Namek for another reason. I want to use your Dragon Ball to make a wish. Is that okay? Sun Weiyuan asked directly without any hesitation. You are all warriors with kind hearts. I can lend you the Dragon Ball for once. Originally, using the Dragon Ball to make a wish requires a test, but now it seems that none of my children can be your opponent, so there is no need to conduct the test. The elder said in a calm tone. Then the Great Elder ordered the elders of each village to fetch the Dragon Ball. Wow, the Dragon Ball on Namek is so big. Can it fulfill bigger wishes? Little Goku looked at the 7 Dragon Balls in front of him with great curiosity. That's for sure. The bigger the Dragon Ball is, the bigger the wishes it can fulfill. A Namek man stepped forward and recited a strange language that Sun Weiyuan could not understand. The 7 Dragon Balls resonated and glowed synchronously, and the sky turned dark. Soon a strange-looking Shenron appeared in the sky. The Shenron on Earth was very similar to the Shenron in Hyuxia mythology, but the Shenron on Namek named Porunga, God of Dreams, was completely different. Brother, look, this Shenron is so thick, big, and long. It also looks very strange. It doesn't look like the Shenron on Earth at all. Elder Mulai, who succeeded the Great Elder after the Great Elder's death, asked Sun Weiyuan what his 3 wishes were. Little Goku was shocked again. 3? Can't you only make 1 wish? Elder Mulai explained, the Shenron on our Namek can make 3 wishes. Okay, tell us your wishes, and Porunga will fulfill them for you. Young Goku looked at his older brother, and Goku spoke up, my first wish is for Shenron to strengthen the earth as much as possible. Elder Mulai looked up and said at percent number. Shenron's eyes glowed red, his wish fulfilled. My second wish is for Goku and I to have the ability to survive in the void. He was then told that 1 wish could not allow both of them to have the ability to survive in the void at the same time, so it had to be changed to just him, and his body genes were not changed. But there is an idea in my mind that the chi in my body can replace the energy needed for the metabolism of living things. As long as there is chi in my body, I don't need to rely on oxygen to breathe. My third wish is to get instant transmission that can appear anywhere. Mulai once again relayed Sun Weiyuan's words to Pelungia, but this time the wish could not be fulfilled. Sun Weiyuan can only teleport within this universe. He has already learned the instant transmission of the Yadetra people, but he feels that it is a bit useless. He is not interested in places without life. Since it's not particularly useful to him, Sun Goiwan thinks that he should give this wish to Goku, since he hasn't even made a wish yet. Goku, you make the remaining wish. Little Goku once again made a wish to Shenron to catch up with Sun Goiwan in strength, but he was disappointed again. This Shenron could not fulfill wishes that violated the laws of nature. Sun Weiyuan thought about it and pulled Elder Mulai to a secluded corner, telling Goku not to follow. Elder Mulai, for the third wish, you want this and that, and that, and that. Do you understand? Mulai, how could I understand? I am completely confused, okay? But he still nodded, his eyes swept over little Goku without leaving a trace, and then told Shenron his third wish. Chapter 31. The Namek people present were collectively speechless. They were not Son Goku and could not hear the conversation between Sun Goiwan and Elder Mulai. However, their hearing was quite good. Is it really good for you to treat your brother this way? Isn't he your biological son? This wish is very simple. The red light of Shenron's eyes fell on little Goku, who scratched the back of his head in confusion and looked at his eldest brother. The wish came true, Shenron turned into 7 Dragon Balls and scattered back on Namek. Every Namek person present knew what the wish was, except little Goku who looked around strangely. Why were they all looking at him? Brother, what was the wish you made for me? I didn't feel anything at all, so how come Shenron said the wish was fulfilled and it was over? It's nothing. You will know it naturally in the future. Will Big Brother try to cheat you? Sun Weiyuan asked Goku seriously. Son Goku shook his head and said, I believe that Big Brother will never cheat me. The Namek people around, what a good kid, but he is almost fooled by his unscrupulous elder brother. Sympathy and pity were all over the green faces. Neela couldn't help but wanted to speak, but was stopped by the Great Elder. Even though he was the Great Elder of Namek and had extensive knowledge, he still didn't quite understand Sun Weiyuan's actions. Although it was strange, he probably didn't know the reason. He couldn't let Naru ruin Sun Weiyuan's plan. After Sun Weiyuan and his brother left Namek and returned to Earth, Naru asked the Great Elder why he went to so much trouble to help Sun Weiyuan and his brother. Neela felt that it was right for Sun Goiwan and the other two to send a tribe member back to Namek as a thank you, and it was also nothing for them to use the Dragon Ball, but he could not understand why the Great Elder had spent so much effort to unlock the potential of the two. In his eyes, the health and safety of the Great Elder is more important than anything else. Naru, when I saw Son Goku, I suddenly foresaw that Namek would face a catastrophe in the future. I also saw a golden warrior named Son Goku fighting a powerful evil enemy. It should be the grown-up Son Goku. In that scene, I saw Namek being destroyed. Neilu said in disbelief, how can there be such a powerful enemy? The current Son Goku is so strong that it makes people hopeless. What enemy will be his opponent when he grows up? And there is also a big brother Son Goiwan who is even more terrifying than him. I didn't see Son Goku during that disaster, and I can only predict a part of the future. Maybe in addition to the powerful enemy that Son Goku fought, Son Goku also held back an even more powerful enemy on the other side. On the Baizai mountain, looking at Goku eating without doing anything, Sun Weiyuan considered whether he should hire a chef for his family to cook specifically for little Goku, as his appetite was really too big. It is worth mentioning that before going to King Kai's planet to train, Sun Weiyuan gave his grandfather a lot of money and property and asked someone to build a big villa for him, so the three of them no longer had to squeeze in a small wooden house. By the way, it seems that today is the world's #1 martial arts tournament. After the martial arts tournament, Krillin was killed by Piccolo Daimao's men. Sun Weiyuan suddenly thought of this while eating. Piccolo Daimao is gone, but several of his monsters have not been killed yet. Little bald Krillin will not be killed by the monster named Dan Balin again. With this thought in mind, Sun Weiyuan instant transmission went to Papaya Island, where the world's #1 martial arts tournament was held. After discovering Master Wu Tian and the others, he went over to say hello, long time no see, everyone. Master Rashi, the little pervert Oolong, Krillin, and oh, our beautiful Miss Bulma is here too. 3 years later, Bulma has become more and more plump, like a ripe peach, and her exaggerated body curves are enough to instantly kill all women of the same age. This woman was also extremely unreasonable. As soon as she saw Sun Weiyuan appear, she dribbled the ball into him and took advantage of him without mercy. Fortunately, he kept repeating in his heart, "Number 18, number 18. And finally he resisted the temptation. "Oh, it's Goiwan. It's been a long time. Have you and Goku gone somewhere for secret training in the past 3 years? Krillin and I have never seen you come to Kame Island once." Master Roshi chatted with Sun Goiwan while observing the competition on the ring. Master Roshi did not participate in the martial arts tournament. The second semi-final is now taking place on the stage between Yamcha and Tien Shinyan, but it looks like Yamcha is about to lose. He also became a disciple of Master Mutant 3 years ago and his strength has greatly improved. As for Krillin, he has already won the semi-finals, and the last match will be between him and Tien Shinyan without any surprises. "Yes, senior brother Goiwan, you must have become stronger," Krillin asked excitedly. He still remembered the ultimate battle between Son Goiwan and Little Goku at the World Martial Arts Tournament 3 years ago. Even though he feels that he has improved a lot now, he still believes that he will never reach 1/10 of the level of Son Goiwan or Goku 3 years ago. Another 3 years passed, and he really didn't realize how powerful the two brothers had become. "Krillin, did you remember what the senior brother said? You didn't secretly date a girlfriend, which caused your cultivation to slow down." Sun Weiyuan said jokingly, "You are a monk, you don't have women in your heart, you cultivate natural gods, and monks can't marry wives, don't delay your cultivation." "Brother, don't try to lie to me. It's true that I was born in Duolin Temple, but now I am a disciple of Master Wu Tian, so I can marry a wife." Krillin didn't say anything else. He was like, "Brother, you have been in a relationship with Bulma for a long time, and you keep telling me that I have no woman in my heart. Do you want me to be single all my life?" Sun Weiyuan saw that the situation was not going well, and it seemed that Plan A, which was to let Krillin remain a monk and not marry, had failed. He could only resort to Plan B, to help Krillin get married as soon as possible. His first girlfriend seemed to be named Marin. Speaking of this, Krillin was quite affectionate. Later, his daughter with number 18 was named after his ex-girlfriend, Marin. The result of the competition on the ring came out, Yamcha was defeated. It might be that Tien Shinyan didn't know that Tao Pai Pai was killed by little Goku. That's not quite right, Goku didn't even touch Tao Pai Pai's hair, he just kicked the bomb that Tao Pai Pai threw out by himself. In short, Tien Shinyan did not hate them and did not break Yamcha's leg. In the end, Krillin and Tien Shinyan competed for the championship. Unfortunately, although Krillin was strong, he was still no match for Tien Shinyan. Hermit Crane burst into laughter on the spot, calling him an old dirty turtle all the time, which made Master Roshi so angry that he started a fight with him on the spot. Master Roshi, who is known as the god of martial arts, Take Nori, firmly suppressed Hermit Crane. Seeing that he couldn't win, he asked Tien Shinyan, who was stronger than him, to help him kill Master Roshi. Unfortunately, Tien Shinyan had his own bottom line and refused. Chapter 32. At this moment, 2 green figures flew down from the sky, one thin and one fat. They were Piccolo Daimao's eldest son Dan Balin and second son, the weak one without a name, the one who was chopped and roasted by Yajirobe in the original book. The 2 demons raised their heads proudly, holding a list of martial arts tournament in their hands. Dan Balin looked at Tien Shinyan with contempt, "You are the champion of the world's #1 martial arts tournament, Tien Shinyan. Who are you?" The 2 demons ignored him and continued to look at Krillin and said, "It seems that you are the second place Krillin. Well, now, I will tell you, listen carefully and don't be scared to pee your pants. We are the eldest and second sons of the great Piccolo Daimao. We will kill you later, ha 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 ha." Except for Son Goiwan, Master Roshi and Crane Hermit, all the audience including Krillin and others were confused. More than 300 years have passed, and there are still few people who know Piccolo Daimao. The audience was whispering to each other about who Piccolo Daimao was, and there was no scene of panic, fear, or chaos as the 2 demons had imagined. Hermit Crane was so frightened that his face changed drastically. He turned around and quietly squeezed into the crowd and slipped away. Master Roshi was also frightened when he heard the news of Piccolo Daimao's birth. But he quickly thought of Son Goku and Sun Weiyuan, and compared the 2 with Piccolo Daimao, whom he had witnessed 300 years ago. The result was that Piccolo Daimao was most likely not a match for either of them. Then he calmly told Krillin and others about Piccolo Daimao in detail. When the two demons Dan Balin saw that someone knew about their great father, they did not stop Master Roshi from telling the story. They believed that when the demons were reborn, the world would tremble under their rule. Master Roshi's words were also broadcasted to the world through television. Most people did not believe it, but some people found some relevant records. Some of the audience had already fled when they saw that the situation was not right. Dan Balin saw that Master Roshi had almost finished talking, so he said, "Okay, we should send you on your way." The referee of the martial arts tournament commented, "Wait a moment, dear viewers, you have heard what was just said. The evil Piccolo Daimao has been born and is about to destroy world peace. Can the most powerful martial artists in the world defeat the evil enemy and protect world peace? Let us wait and see." Sun Weiyuan was shocked to see that this ordinary referee actually dared to interrupt the actions of the two demons. Wow, he is risking his life to explain the game. He is really brave. That's enough. You two demons don't need to sound alarmist here. Piccolo Daimao has been destroyed by my brother Son Goku. Son Goku made a handsome appearance on the ring and spoke calmly, as if he was talking about something insignificant. Sun Weiyuan, who is already handsome, looks even more handsome when standing next to the two non-human demons. Many women in the audience and in front of the TV were also shocked by Sun Weiyuan's handsomeness. Wow, this guy is so handsome. The feeling of being in love, I seem to believe in love at first sight and love again. Dan Balin didn't believe what Sun Weiyuan said at all. In his opinion, Piccolo Daimao was the most powerful being on earth and it was absolutely impossible for him to be destroyed by this human brother. Impossible. No one knows the Demon King better than me. He is the most powerful in the world. There is no being on earth that can defeat him. Boy, you have insulted the great Demon King. Accept the judgment from the demons. Krillin muttered quietly, this demon named Dan Balin is so brave, he has never suffered from the beatings of society. Thinking back to the past, I won't say more, it brings tears to my eyes, I was still too young at the time, so I became mature and steady under the repeated education of the senior brother, never make the senior brother unhappy. A little bald head, with an old-fashioned look, looks quite funny. Sun Weiyuan said coolly to the camera, the following scene is not suitable for children. The referee recognized Sun Weiyuan's identity and said excitedly, "Dear audience friends, I remember now. He is the champion of the last martial arts competition, Mr. Sun Weiyuan. He is very, very, very powerful. He is the favorite disciple of the martial arts god Wu Tian." Ignoring the chattering referee, Sun Weiyuan dodged and slapped the two demons one by one and sent them flying into the sky. With two key blasts, not even a trace of ash was left of the two Dan Balin demons. Krillin looked strange. He didn't know why senior brother Weiyuan had the habit of slapping people. At that time, his bald head was slapped many times. So strong. This is how Tian Xinyan feels about Sun Goiwan. Even though he is the champion of this martial arts tournament, he also feels the gap between himself and Sun Goiwan. Is the Rashiryu really that strong? Sun Weiyuan and his group walked out of the martial arts tournament arena. Master Wu Tian said to Tian Xinyan, "You are not like a he, who has evil intentions. You are a true martial artist. By the way, Wu Yuan, was the evil Piccolo Daimao really killed by little Goku? It's not quite appropriate to say killed. Piccolo Daimao was too weak. Goku could kill Piccolo Daimao accidentally." Sun Goiwan said indifferently. Teacher Wu Tian was filled with emotion, thinking back then his teacher Wu Taitu had sealed Piccolo Daimao at the cost of his own life, but now he was accidentally killed by his own disciple. It was really unpredictable and fate was playing tricks on people. He couldn't help but accept the fact that he was getting old. Suddenly, he felt a very elastic touch on his arm. Sun Weiyuan said with a look of suffering a great loss, "Bulma took advantage of me again when I wasn't paying attention. Unexpectedly, not only did she not let go, but she held me even tighter." Krillin asked curiously, "Brother Weiyuan, you are becoming stronger and stronger. Where have you been practicing for the past 3 years? Krillin, your strength is really a bit weak. After 3 years, your combat power is only just over 100. You need to work hard on your training." Krillin said helplessly, "I have tried my best, what's wrong with my fighting ability?" Sun Weiyuan took out the combat power detector. "This is the instrument that can detect the combat power of a martial artist. I asked Bulma's father, Dr. Briefs, to make it. I didn't expect there was such a thing. What's the fighting power of you and Goku?" Krillin asked. "Guess." There should be more than 1,000. Krillin felt that he had exaggerated the number. It was 10 times his own combat power. Jiaozi had a zombie-like face with no expression on his face, while Tian Xinyan was very shocked. Piccolo Lin was strong, but his strength was limited. Krillin, I always told you to practice hard and not to always think about getting married. Now you are so worried even about guessing. Your strength has limited your vision. Let me give you some reference data. Goku's combat power exceeded 10,000 3 years ago, and our strength has made a leap forward in these 3 years. While stating the facts, Sun Weiyuan did not forget to tease Krillin out of habit. Chapter 33. Sun Goiwan said that little Goku's combat power exceeded 10,000 3 years ago, and everyone was almost shocked. Bulma took the combat power detector from Goiwan and put it on. Then she looked at Goiwan's combat power and saw it was 10. What? Is this thing accurate? Goiwan, why is your combat power only 10? Krillin 106, Old Turtle 137, Tian Xinyan 136. There's nothing wrong with the combat power detector. I just restrained my energy, so it's only 10. If I burst out with all my strength, the combat power detector will explode because my power exceeds its upper limit. Sun Weiyuan said calmly. Klin asked with a trembling voice, what is the upper limit of this instrument? Not much, only 1 million. If the combat power exceeds 1 million, the detector will explode with a bang. So it can no longer test the combat power of Goku and I. What? Goku's combat power has also exceeded 1 million. You two brothers are really monsters. Krillin was originally quite satisfied with his own improvement in strength over the past 3 years, but when he learned that his son Goku, who was the same age as him, had a combat power of over 1 million, while his own was only 106, the gap between them was at least 10,000 times. Tian Xinyan was also shocked. It turned out that my title of the world's #1 martial arts tournament contained a lot of water as big as the ocean. The gap is so big that he has no intention of catching up. You may feel dissatisfied with someone who is slightly better than you, but do you still want to compete with someone who is 100 million better than you? I really don't know how you practice. Krillin, I think you have learned enough from Master Wu Tian. If you want to become stronger, you can challenge Kylin Tower, pass the test of Immortal Kylin, and then go to the Temple of Heaven to practice. In fact, in addition to Krillin, the 3 of you, Yamcha, Tian Xinyan, and Jiaozi, can also go to Kylin Tower and the Temple of Heaven to practice. Sun Weiyuan told the story of the Temple of Heaven and Kylin Tower, but did not tell the whole story, such as the super holy water of Immortal Kylin is fake, and the Heavenly God and Piccolo Daimao are actually the same person. Tian Xinyan and Yamcha clenched their fists and made up their minds to pass the test of the Immortal Kylin, drink the super holy water, and go to the Temple of the Gods to practice with the gods. Jiaozi didn't say anything, he went wherever Tian Xinyan went. Weiyuan, are there really gods in the Temple of Heaven? Bulma felt her curiosity piqued. Sun Weiyuan looked at Bulma as if she was looking at a fool, as if to say, where is your IQ? The latter was too unreasonable, and she pinched the soft flesh on Sun Weiyuan's waist in anger. Haha, my body is no longer the same as before. How can a weakling like you pinch me? Just wait. Although I didn't feel any pain from your pinching, I have made a note of it in my little notebook. When Bulma comes home one day, he will let her know how my brother pays off his bills. One account will make her unable to get out of bed. Vhehe. The Celestial Temple is the residence of the Earth's celestial god and his servants. Another point is that the 7 Dragon Balls were created by the celestial god. Bulma said in surprise, what? Dragon Ball was created by the gods. Goiwan, can we make a wish directly to the gods? No, although the gods have many mysterious abilities and can create 7 Dragon Balls that can summon Shenron, they themselves do not have the ability to fulfill other people's wishes. Sun Goiwan shook his head and explained. Speaking of which, Weiyuan, you are really something. I am your girlfriend, but you have left me in Zeta for 3 years without asking a single question. You have to accompany me shopping tomorrow, and go to the amusement park the day after tomorrow. Sun Weiyuan's scalp tingled when he heard this. Bulma had clearly arranged his schedule for the next month. It turned out that rich women were not that easy to get along with, but he could barely accept it. He only asked her to accompany him for a month without complaining about him. Goiwan, can you tell me where you and Goku have been training for the past 3 years? I've been to Beizai Mountain many times but couldn't find you. Bulma asked. I asked the gods to take Goku and I to hell. We saw the tall and strong King Yama. We passed through the snake path and went to King Kai to train for 3 years. Not long after I came back, I met Piccolo Daimao. I asked Goku to deal with it. Hell? King Yama? King Kai? Do those things still exist in this world? Seeing everyone puzzled, Sun Weiyuan patiently explained, you should have heard of hell. It is the place where souls are reincarnated after death. King Yama is responsible for judging the good and evil of ghosts and deciding whether they go to heaven or hell to be punished. The gods are in charge of the earth, and the king of the world is in charge of the Milky Way. I think you can understand it now. If you are interested in training with King Kai in the future, I can take you there. As for whether King Kai is willing to teach you, it depends on your own ability. After saying goodbye to everyone, Sun Weiyuan was dragged by Bulma to her family's big villa in Zidu. Krillin and others received a lot of information at once. After spending some time digesting it, they decided to follow the practice route of Sun Weiyuan and the others. Krillin left Kame Island and went to Kylin Tower, where he met Yamcha unexpectedly. Yamcha, don't you have a date with a girl today? Krillin joked, because Yamcha practiced with Master Wu Tian on Kame Island for a year, and then went to Western Capital. Every time he came to Kame Island, he would bring a young and beautiful girlfriend, and the key point was that no time was repeated. He used to envy her for a long time, but later gradually became indifferent. Aren't you here too? Senior brother Weiyuan and the others are too strong. I originally thought that I had almost reached the limit of my potential, but after knowing their combat power, I feel that a combat power of over 100 is far from the limit. This may just be the beginning of cultivation, so of course I have to continue to become stronger. Krillin said solemnly. I want to become stronger too. Although I am weaker than you now, I think I can surpass you. Let's see who can climb the Kylin Tower first and who can complete the test of the Kylin Immortal first. Let's compete. Count to 3 and start crawling. 3. On Kame Island, Master Wu Tian looked at Tian Xinyan and Jiaozi who came to practice with him unexpectedly. Bulma's house in the West City, Dr. Briefs, Mrs. Briefs, long time no see, hello. Mrs. Briefs smiled as she held Bulma's hand with one hand and Sun Weiyuan with the other. Weiyuan has become more handsome. Bulma has been calling your name in her dreams for the past 3 years. Would you like some snacks? Thank you. Sun Weiyuan took the snack. Sister still hasn't come back? Bulma asked. Dr. Briefs said, your sister hasn't come back since she left Earth for the universe more than a decade ago. Mrs. Briefs pretended to cry and said, my 2 daughters have grown up and like to go out and not come back to accompany their mother. Chapter 34. Bulma, it's okay if you don't like going home. When will you and Weiyuan give birth to a grandson or granddaughter for Mom to play with? Bulma blushed and said, Mom, Weiyuan and I haven't gotten married yet. Besides, I'm only 20 years old, and Weiyuan is only 19. She really hadn't thought about getting married so early, she was just a sophomore. Sun Weiyuan tried to reduce his presence as much as possible at this time. He didn't want to get married and have children so early. He was a man. Those who understand will understand. After a month, Sun Weiyuan let out a long sigh. Do you know how he spent the past month? Every day they went shopping, went to the amusement park, and ate delicious food. They traveled to every corner of the Western capital and tasted all kinds of delicious food. Bulma bought him a universal capsule that contained a luxurious villa. When they went to play at sea, she took out a luxury cruise ship that was bigger than an aircraft carrier. In just 1 month, he got to know the daily life of the rich. As long as he thought about it, eating, drinking, defecating, urinating and sleeping could all be taken care of by intelligent robots. He almost became addicted to them. King Kai on King Planet inadvertently noticed that in the northern Milky Way under his jurisdiction, several life planets were successively transformed into lifeless and deserted planets. Could that thing have appeared? Damn it! Wasn't that thing destroyed? And that Frieza who calls himself the Emperor of the Universe leads his men to destroy everywhere every day. My northern galaxy is really plagued by disasters. King Kai was so anxious that he ran around and around on the small planet King Kai. When he stopped, he scratched his head and ears. He had no way to deal with Frieza, but he wanted to find someone to deal with the group that destroyed several planets with life. Scion, I didn't expect that after the destruction of planet Vegeta, there are still Scions besides a few Scions under Frieza and Goku. It's hard to change their nature. They are out to cause trouble again. Who should we find to deal with them? If we don't care, we don't know how many planets with life they will destroy. The first person that came to King Kai's mind was the stingy Son Goemon, who snatched the spicy strips from him, followed by Son Goku, who was as simple as a single-celled organism but had a huge appetite. When the two of them return, their strength will have surpassed that group. It shouldn't be a problem for Gon and Goku to take care of them. 6 figures appeared in the sky above a life planet in the northern Milky Way. They were the group that King Kai wanted Wei Yuan to deal with. The leader is a Scion low-level warrior named Tulz, and his 5 universe brothers are Kakeo, Daz, Amando, and the Lakasa brothers. Tulz looks like Son Goku when he grows up. There is an evil look in his brows. He said with a smile on his face, "The vitality of this planet is stronger than the previous planets combined. It will definitely grow better fruits. Boss, let's get started. I can't wait to taste the fruit of the sacred tree." "You useless thing. After we harvest this batch of fruits, we can recruit more members and use the fruits of the spirit tree to create a powerful army to dominate the universe, ha ha ha." Tulz is ambitious. As a low-level Scion warrior, he used to look down on himself. After accidentally obtaining a spirit tree seed, his strength began to increase rapidly, and his ambition gradually expanded. Now he wants to dominate the universe. King Kai trembled his 2 antenna-like tentacles. "Wu Yuan, can you hear me? Hey, is that Master King Kai? It's me, Gozen. Are you free now? I've got a tough situation here and I want your help. You and Goku come over here and I'll talk to you in person." Bulma was confused for a moment when she heard Sun Wei Yuan's incoherent words and asked, "Who are you talking to, Wei Yuan?" "King Kai asked me to do him a favor. But isn't he more powerful than the gods? How come he still needs your help?" Bulma was puzzled. King Kai's situation is similar to that of a god. Although he manages all the life planets in the northern galaxy, he will not personally deal with saboteurs. In fact, his combat power is not particularly strong. Now my strength has surpassed his. So that's how it is. It looks like you are leaving again. When will you be back? Bulma said in a bad mood. I don't know either. If the opponent is not strong, it won't take much time with my ability of instant transmission. But if he is strong, I'm not sure. I don't know if those people from the universe have any strange tricks. I'll go back and take Goku to King Kai's planet to see what's going on. Sun Goemon said truthfully. Be careful, don't force yourself if you can't win. Bulma warned very seriously. Of course, safety comes first. If the situation is not going well, I will take Goku and teleport away. I can't say anything else. Instant transmission is really useful for escaping. Sun Wei Yuan said with a smile, well, I should go back to Baizai Mountain to find Goku. Goodbye. After saying goodbye to Bulma's family, Sun Wei Yuan instant transmission returned to the gravity room of Baizai Mountain and saw Goku sweating profusely while training with one-handed push UPS, 99,998, 99,999. Goku, stop practicing. I'm taking you to Lord King Kai. He needs our help with something. With Son Goku's face full of confusion, he said something to his grandfather and went to King Kai's star. As soon as he saw Son Goemon and Goku, King Kai, who was originally gloomy, immediately smiled. Goemon and Goku, you are here. Lord Kai, what do you want to talk to us about? Sun Wei Yuan asked bluntly. It's like this. A group of people have appeared in the area under my jurisdiction and are destroying life planets everywhere. They are not very strong at the moment, so you can deal with them without worry. King Kai continued, there are 6 of them, led by a scion named Tulz, who are looking for a planet with life in the universe to plant a spirit tree. Goemon has some impression of Tulz, and it seems that his fighting ability is not very strong, so it would be no problem for Goku to deal with him alone. Goku heard the key words, so he asked in confusion, King Kai, what is the spirit tree? The spirit tree is a tree that can grow in the god realm. Once it grows on a life planet in the lower realm, it will quickly absorb the vitality of the entire planet to grow and produce spirit tree fruits. This fruit contains huge energy, and eating it can greatly increase your strength for a short period of time. However, most of the power will disappear over time, and in the end only a very small part will be completely digested and absorbed to increase your strength. Moreover, the planet where the spirit tree is planted will also be destroyed as the spirit tree grows, and it may not be able to recover in hundreds of years. Chapter 35. That's the situation. King Kai explained to Goku carefully. Lord Kai, do you know the current combat power of Tulls and the others? Sun Weiyuan asked. I have already investigated this clearly. According to the value of your combat power detector, the combat power of the most powerful Scion Tulls is 430,000. The combat powers of his 5 subordinates are almost the same, ranging from 60,000 to 100,000. King Kai replied. Although Goku's combat power of 180,000 is no match for Tulls, he can help you deal with Tulls men. I remember that your strength is more than 1 million, Goku. Obviously King Kai didn't notice that Son Goku and Son Goku went to Namek to improve their combat power, otherwise he wouldn't have said that. Goku was a bit excited when he heard there would be a fight, but was a bit disappointed when he heard that the strongest one was only capable of 430,000 combat power. Lord Kai, if that's all their fighting power is, even if they were combined, they would not be a match for Goku alone. What? When you left, wasn't Goku's combat power only 180,000? Although more than a month has passed, Goku's strength should not have increased so quickly to exceed 430,000. King Kai was surprised. Could it be that during this period of time, the two brothers had some adventure that caused their strength to soar? It's like this, after we go back. Sun Weiyuan said briefly. Namek? They do possess some strange abilities. I didn't expect that your strength has increased so much in a short time. Now you will have no problem dealing with Tulls and his group. King Kai hadn't said another word yet. Perhaps soon they will be able to deal with the evil Frieza. King Kai felt happy thinking of this, ha ha ha. He covered his mouth and laughed out loud. Sun Weiyuan didn't understand. Isn't it just to help you deal with Tulls? Is it necessary to be so happy? Moreover, even if Tulls didn't appear, Sun Weiyuan planned to find some opponents for Goku in the universe. Goku stays in the gravity room all day to practice, and his fighting power has improved, but he feels that Goku now lacks combat experience and will easily suffer a great loss when fighting the enemy in the future. Weiyuan, I'm very happy now, hurry up and take out your spicy noodles to cheer me up. Sun Weiyuan reluctantly took out a bag of spicy noodles and said, Lord Kai, you have to eat them sparingly. Spicy noodles are not easy to make. You can't get many dragon tendons from a dinosaur. I need to break up the dragon tendons again and again, add chili oil, peanut powder, soy sauce, vinegar and other ingredients according to the proportion to marinate them, and finally coat them with the right amount of flour and fry them until they are crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. I found that the number of dinosaurs in my Baizai mountain has decreased a lot because of this. If this continues, the dinosaurs in it will become extinct. King Kai took the spicy noodles and said, it's okay. I know there are many planets in the universe with dinosaurs. Some of them are even 10 times larger than the dinosaurs on Earth. I'll tell you the location and you can catch the dinosaur yourself. Lord King Kai, since the fruit of the spirit tree is said to be a fruit that only gods are qualified to eat, its function can't be just to enhance that pitiful combat power, that would be too much of a waste of the life planet. Sun Weiyuan felt that the vitality of a life planet was so enormous. A planet like Tulls, which destroyed several planets with only 430,000 combat power, was too useless. The fruit of the spirit tree contains huge energy. They just can't absorb it and it's wasted. In fact, the vitality contained in the fruit can also be absorbed by the human body to increase lifespan. I'm not sure how much it can increase. King Kai replied. Increase lifespan? Good stuff. Sun Weiyuan's eyes lit up. As a handsome guy, how could he let himself age so quickly? If possible, he would ask Super Shenron to make a wish for eternal life, immortality, in the future. Lord Kai, is there any way you can tell me Tull's aura? Otherwise I won't be able to perform instant transmission. Put your hand on my back. Then both Sun Goiwan and little Goku put their hands on King Kai's back and closed their eyes, and soon Sun Goiwan saw a scion who looked very similar to Goku, with an aura full of violence and evil. At this time, they planted the seeds of the spirit tree on a planet. Sun Weiyuan saw a towering tree passing through the clouds and growing into outer space. Green, unripe fruits could be seen on the tree. The huge roots of the spirit tree moved through the soil of the planet like living things. The flowers, plants, and trees quickly turned yellow and withered wherever they passed, and the animals on the planet fled in panic. Wow, brother, this tree is so big. If we cut it down, our family will have enough firewood for a long time. Son Goku said excitedly. Although they have a new house now, they still have limited space in the kitchen to cook. It takes too much time to cook so much food in the kitchen. They basically grill large dinosaurs outside the house or stew meat in a special large pot, which requires a lot of firewood. You're right. If we cut it back, we won't have to chop wood for a long time. Sun Weiyuan nodded in agreement. King Kai was a little speechless. Was chopping wood the main point? The planet was about to be drained of vitality by the spirit tree. The main point was to eliminate Tulls and others and completely destroy the spirit tree. Lord King Kai, leave this matter to us. Goku and I will be back soon. Sun Goiwan took his hand off King Kai's back, opened his eyes and said calmly. Then I'll leave this matter to you. Sun Weiyuan and little Goku nodded, raised their right index and middle fingers and placed them between their eyebrows, carefully searching for the breath of Scion Tulls. Found it, Goku, catch me, let's go and chop firewood, haha. Upon hearing this, Son Goku grabbed Sun Goiwan's left hand, and the two of them disappeared in an instant and appeared on the planet where Tulls and his group were. King Kai, I always feel like Goiwan is pretending to be awesome in front of me, but unfortunately I can't find any evidence. Don't ask why King Kai uses the word pretentious. If you ask, I learned it from spending 3 years with Sun Goiwan. Tulls and his group gathered together. Very good, the fruit of the spirit tree will soon be ripe, faster than I expected. Maybe the vitality of this planet is much stronger than before. Soon our strength will be able to surpass Frieza's 530,000 combat power. By then we will defeat Frieza and establish the strongest army in the universe, the Tulls army, and dominate the entire universe, ha 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 ha. Tulls stared at the fruit on the spirit tree with fiery eyes. He couldn't wait to eat the fruit of the spirit tree. His 5 subordinates also laughed loudly after hearing this. Since the boss laughed, how could they, the younger brothers, not react? Chapter 36. Hello everyone. You can laugh, but please stay away from my tree. We are going to chop it down for firewood later. Please stand far away. Sun Weiyuan and little Goku instantly appeared less than 100 meters away from the 6 Tulls. Seeing 6 male creatures of different heights and looks laughing like idiots, they greeted them very politely. Although Sun Weiyuan will still kill them soon, he will still show courtesy and greet the other party before the fight. He is a sunny and handsome boy who respects martial ethics. Brother, didn't you say that as long as we are sure it is an enemy, we should stop talking nonsense if we can just take action? Son Goku was confused. His elder brother had been telling him this since he was old enough to practice, so why didn't he just take action now? It was a headache. It was really hard to guess what his elder brother was thinking. What the hell are you talking about, kid? I am trying to maximize our interests and solve their problems directly. What next? Cut down the spirit tree? The fruits on the tree are almost ripe, it would be a pity to cut it down now. First, talk to Tulls and the other 6 people, and then slowly practice with them. Then, you use your ultimate skill to kill all the opponents instantly. Where can you find so many opponents to increase your practical experience? Goku really doesn't know how to manage a household at all. His grandfather is already quite old, and without the fruit of the spirit tree to increase his lifespan, he will probably die in a few years and go to the 5 Elements Mountain to accompany Xingren, also known as Taishang Lejun, to guard the Bagua furnace. The laughter of the 6 people of Tulls suddenly stopped. When did these 2 people appear? They were careless and did not notice when they were approached. If they stole the fruit of the spirit tree, wouldn't they not know about it? Tulls quickly turned on the combat power detector, and then his face was full of disdain. Pa, you scared me, I thought they were some masters, but it turns out they are just 2 pieces of trash with a combat power of only 100. How dare you get close to the spirit tree with such a low combat power? You don't know how to live or die. One of the 5 of you can go and deal with these 2 annoying pieces of trash. Kakeo said coldly, I am not interested in such a weak opponent. The Lakasa brothers also expressed their disinterest. Dawes laughed strangely and said, Amando, the fruit of the spirit tree is not ripe yet. It's boring to wait here. Let's attack together, one by one, and see who can scare the opponent to pee his pants first. How about a spirit tree fruit as the bet? Amando also smiled and said, okay, but I'll choose first. The little one is mine, and the big one is yours. Amando, you are so cunning. Everyone knows that children are more likely to wet their pants. Tulls said calmly, stay away from the spirit tree, and don't damage my spirit tree fruit during a fight, or your share will be halved. Kakeo stared at Goku for a few seconds, his heart skipped a beat, he turned around and looked at his boss again, the two looked more and more alike, that kid was simply a smaller version of the boss. I couldn't help but say, don't you realize that the little brat over there looks a lot like the boss? After hearing Kakeo's reminder, the others also started observing Goku. They looked alike, too alike. The five of them looked at the boss in unison, as if asking if the kid over there was his illegitimate child. Amondo's back was covered in cold sweat. No, no way, I almost killed the boss's illegitimate son? Although the boss was cold and ruthless, he couldn't be sure that the boss would be so ruthless to his own son. If he was not careful, he might make things difficult for him or even kill him. Tulz heard Kakeo's reminder and noticed Son Goku. It seemed that he looked really like him, but he was sure that he didn't have such a son. He thought of a person. When he was on the Vegeta star, there was a person who relied on the talent of a low-level soldier to improve his combat power to the level of being on par with high-level soldiers. His name was Bardock. Because he looked so much like Bardock, people often laughed at him for this. So, the little ghost in front of us is most likely Bardock's son, but why does this little ghost have no tail? Tulz said, Daz, Amondo, you two, hold on. Hey, kid, let me ask you, are you a scion? When little Goku heard the word scion, his face was full of confusion. Scion? What is that? I've never heard Big Brother mention it. I'm from Earth, my name is Son Goku. Earthling? No, he must be related to that Bardock, they look so much like him. I asked you, did you have a tail before? Where is your tail? You even know this? My eldest brother said the tail was useless, so he asked the gods to pull it out, and it never grew back. At this time, Son Goku also saw the monkey-like tail that Tulz had coiled around his waist. Very good, you are indeed the son of Bardock, a scion. I will give you a chance. If you join my Tulz Legion, we will not kill you. Although your strength is still very weak, with the huge potential of us scions, your combat power will be improved soon. Tulz said like alms. Little Goku, am I really that weak? But you seem to be much weaker than me. Brother, he said, I am Bardock's son. Is our father Bardock? Goku always thought that his brother was his biological son, so he thought they had the same father. Goku, if you want to know, I will tell you in detail after we get back. Now let's defeat these villains who are destroying the planet and chop down the spirit tree to use as firewood. Oh. I get it, bro. Tulz said coldly, you are so ungrateful. I was going to spare your life because we are both scions, but you chose to die. Daz, Amondo, go ahead and kill me. Yes. Boss. Times 2 ha ha ha, a little kid is a little kid. He doesn't know what's good for him and even has the guts to reject our boss invitation. Die. Amondo laughed and walked towards Son Goku step by step. Days was also not willing to be outdone and walked towards Sun Weiyuan. They liked to let their opponents watch in horror as they approached step by step, and listen to the begging for mercy that made him feel wonderful and intoxicated. When he approached Sun Weiyuan, Daisy laughed crazily and said, Are you scared silly by my powerful aura? Are you desperate? Snap. I don't want to hit you, but your breath is so bad and you're so close to me that I feel uncomfortable. I can only give you a slap. Don't thank me too much. Sun Weiyuan had a sunny smile on his face, revealing his snow-white teeth. Daisy was slapped in the face by him. A huge force hit him and he flew out all of a sudden. He was stuck on the trunk of the huge spirit tree and didn't fall down. It was unknown whether he was alive or dead. Chapter 37. Kakeo said in surprise, Impossible, his combat power is only 100, how could he beat Days away? Then he repeatedly used the combat power detector to measure Sun Weiyuan's combat power, and after repeated confirmation several times, he found that his combat power was still 100. However, it was impossible for a combat power of 100 to defeat Daz, who had a combat power of 70,000, even if Daz was careless and unprepared. Tulz also felt strange. Daz, how long are you going to stay in that tree? Are you going to die in it? Kakeo was also quite surprised, so he flew to the tree and patted Daz's shoulder. Then Daz's body slid down the trunk and fell to the ground, with his whole face deformed. Kakeo put his hand under Daz's nostrils and found that he was not breathing. He said in a trembling voice, Boss, Daz has stopped breathing and is dead. Tulz said coldly, Daz is a loser. He wasted so many of my spirit tree fruits, and was beaten to death with a slap. It's better for him to die, so that I don't have to waste more spirit tree fruits in the future. Sun Weiyuan yawned and said, Goku, I've finished my work. The remaining 5 are all left to you. The fruits in our house are beginning to ripen. Don't let them disturb me while I pick the fruits and bring them back for Grandpa to taste. After saying that, Sun Weiyuan flew up to the spirit tree and picked a newly ripe red fruit, which was as big as a fist. He could feel the huge energy contained in the fruit of the spirit tree. What? Such a fast speed, BD. Put down the spirit tree fruit or I will make you die miserably. Tulz was no longer as indifferent as before. After seeing Sun Weiyuan pick a spirit tree fruit, he became a little anxious and even a little angry. The brothers Kakao and Lakes wanted to stop Sun Weiyuan and take back the fruit of the spirit tree, but Sun Weiyuan, hearing his eldest brother's instructions, released a small part of his strength. But it was this small amount of strength that shocked Tulz and others. Their combat power detector was specially customized, and the upper limit of combat power that it could detect was relatively high. At this time, the value displayed by the combat power detector exceeded that of Tulz, who was currently the strongest. 600,000 combat power, how is that possible? He's just a scion kid who hasn't entered the growth stage yet. Tulz started to panic, and immediately shouted loudly, what are you still standing there for? Let's go together and quickly get rid of this kid. The 5 Tulz surrounded Son Goku. Yoshi, go ahead. But except for Tulz, the other 4 were knocked down by Son Goku's punch. However, he was only knocked down, as Son Goku intentionally avoided the vital points. Seeing that he was defeated, Tulz shifted his attention to a red fruit on the spirit tree. That was his only chance to turn the tables. He blasted a ki blast at Son Goku. He used one of his special moves, high-speed movement, combined with flying technique and quick dodge to form a special move, hoping to pick the fruit of the spirit tree first. When he was less than half a meter away from the fruit, Son Goku appeared above him and kicked Tulz with a whip kick, sending him flying into the ground. His elder brother told him not to let anyone disturb him while picking fruits, so he should pay attention to this. What if his elder brother gets unhappy and doesn't make delicious food for him or lets him practice in the gravity room? The consequences would be too serious. Tulz thought to himself, damn it, damn it. I am almost there, just a little bit away from picking the fruit of the spirit tree. As long as I eat the fruit of the spirit tree, my combat power will exceed 1 million in a short period of time. How can this little devil be my opponent then? Energy Aura. Similar to Chi Yuan Zhan, Tulz used another of his special moves to hit Son Goku, who dodged to the side and the energy aura flew towards one of the fruits of the spirit tree, successfully cutting off one of the fruits. The corners of his mouth turned up, revealing a weird smile. He succeeded. The little devil is still a little devil. He is too young. The next moment his smile froze on his face, and a hand suddenly appeared and grabbed the fruit of the spirit tree. Hey, that Tulz, if you dare to stretch your claws towards my fruit again, believe it or not I will chop off both of your claws right now, so just behave yourself and play with Goku obediently. Tulz gritted his teeth. He had never suffered such an insult since he got the spirit tree seed. Shameless, you think the spirit tree we planted with so much effort is yours? Goku, take him to a farther place to fight. Once you are familiar with his moves, send him to hell. Okay, I get it, big brother. Son Goku did not hesitate anymore. He appeared in front of Tulz and punched Tulz so hard that he flew away before he could react. Tulz steadied his body and used high-speed movement to rush towards the spirit tree again, but a small figure faster than him appeared in front of him and punched him in the face again, sending him flying. When Tulz got up again, he yelled in frustration, high-speed movement, how could you use my special move of high-speed movement? So this move is called high-speed movement. I learned such a simple move just by looking at it. Is it strange? Son Goku said sincerely. Tulz, what the hell is this freak thing? Son Goku has an extraordinary talent for martial arts, even Son Goiwan has to admit that he is inferior to him. Tulz's high-speed movement is not a very advanced move. Goku, who has profound martial arts training, can learn it at a glance and it is not very challenging. On the other side, Sun Weiyuan finally waited for the last spirit tree fruit to ripen. He picked a total of 168 spirit tree fruits. I've picked all the fruit, now it's time for me to chop down the tree. Spirit tree, ruthless Sun Weiyuan condensed a 40-meter-long sword and swung it to chop the trunk of the spirit tree. With a crack, the sword broke. It seems that the big sword is useless. Should we still use the spirit bomb? Sun Weiyuan rejected it. He said he would chop it down and take it home as firewood, so he chopped it down and took it home as firewood. With my current control over my vital energy, I no longer need to limit myself to condensing my vital energy into a ball. I can also condense it into a large sword. Bring me the sword. Soon, Sun Weiyuan really condensed a large sword several hundred meters long and swung it at the trunk of the spirit tree. Son Goku was frightened by his elder brother's giant sword, but he and Tulz were still within the attack range of the giant sword. Phew! Luckily I was smart and dodged it quickly, otherwise I would be the one in trouble. Son Goku said with lingering fear as he looked at Tulz, who was cut into several pieces. Tulz's hands and body were cut horizontally, and he struggled on the ground for a long time before dying. Sion's vitality was really tenacious. With a loud bang, the spirit tree was chopped down by Sun Weiyuan, and the earth shook as if a big earthquake had occurred. Sun Weiyuan saw Tulz's tragic death and thought, "Oh my god, that's so tragic. This doesn't look like Goku's work. Did he develop violent tendencies due to my long-term teaching? Goku, kill those universe people who have fallen to the ground. Otherwise, it will be terrible if they find Earth and attack ordinary people in the future. Remember, if you don't uproot the grass, it will grow again in the spring breeze. They are not good people. If you let them go today, who knows how many innocent ordinary people will die at their hands in the future." Son Goku seemed very hesitant after hearing this. He really couldn't bring himself to attack someone who had no power to resist. But after listening to what his eldest brother said, he felt that it made sense. In the end, he still managed to finish the job for Kakao and the others. It may also be because he has never made a wish to Shenron to revive anyone, but Shenron's failure to fulfill his wishes time and time again made him feel that Shenron is just so-so. Chapter 38. Goku, don't just stand there in a daze. I cut down the spirit tree, and the vitality and energy are returning to this planet. It won't take long for the planet to return to its vibrant state. We have completed what Lord Kai asked us to do. We still have our own work to do. Come and help chop wood. The spirit tree is too big to be carried. Even if we can carry it, there is not enough space on Baizai Mountain to put it down. I will chop the wood and put it in the universal capsule. It doesn't matter if it is a little big. The spirit tree is a sacred tree after all. We can use it to make some high-end furniture. It will be so impressive. After a long time, the spirit tree was also cleaned up. Sun Weiyuan rubbed his sleepy eyes and said, "Goku, you did a good job. You were very fast. You finished everything before I even finished my sleep. Go back and tell me what you want to eat." King Kai looked at the planet where the two of them were in a daze. Wow, it turned out they were really going there to chop wood. Son Goku only used 600,000 combat power when dealing with Tulz. On the contrary, when Sun Weiyuan asked him to chop wood, he chopped wood with a full combat power of more than 1.8 million. Later, he felt that the speed was a bit slow, so he used 5 times Kaioken to speed up. He was speechless. His signature move as King Kai had actually been reduced to the level of chopping wood. How humiliating! The same goes for that brat Sun Weiyuan. He changed the spirit bomb into the sword of vitality for felling trees. Didn't I tell him that this trick should only be used as a last resort? King Kai, oh, this class of students is so hard to teach. The last class of students was easier to teach. Let's go. It's time to go back and report to Lord Kai. This trip was really smooth. There were no accidents. Sun Goiwan took Goku instant transmission back to King Kai's planet. "Lord King Kai, that villain has been dealt with. If there is nothing else, Goku and I will go back." Shortly after Son Goku and Goku left the planet, several mutant robots appeared, reporting to Dr. Mayu, the spirit tree was cut down and only a stump was left. In addition, we found several bodies at the scene. They should be the 6 who planted the spirit tree. On an unknown planet, an old man called Dr. Mayu was watching the images sent back by his mutant robots. When he saw Tul's body, he discovered the tail behind his butt. Sion. The brutal race that destroyed their fellow Zivil people, known as the strongest fighting race in the universe. Bring back the corpse with the monkey tail on its butt. Also, collect samples of the spirit tree. I need to study it. Maybe there will be unexpected surprises. Dr. Mayu clenched his fists. "Sion, just wait for me, the vengeful wrath from the Zivil people will exterminate all of you Sions." After several mutant robots left, another group of people came to the planet. "Chief Slag, the planet ahead is where the spirit tree grows. However, our investigation found something unexpected. The spirit tree was cut down by someone unknown, leaving only a huge stump. Who is it? If you dare to ruin my slag's good deeds, I will grind you to ashes. Pass the order to find that person at all costs. I must regain my youth. The speaker was a Namek, one of a group of genius children who were sent away from the Namek people hundreds of years ago. And Slug is a genius among geniuses, a super Namek that is rare in Namek for hundreds of years. His fighting power is extremely strong, but now he is old, so he urgently wants to find the fruit of the spirit tree to restore his youth and replenish his lifespan. After Slug left, 2 more groups of people came looking for the spirit tree. They were the Mecha troop under Cooler of the Ice Demon clan and the Jinya force under Frieza. Unfortunately, they found nothing. Sun Weiyuan's instant transmission came and went without a trace, leaving no trace for them to track. Sun Weiyuan, who thought everything was going well and nothing unexpected had happened, had already taken Goku back to Baizai Mountain. The situation in the northern Milky Way suddenly became unpredictable. Several forces were looking for the spirit tree everywhere. People on many planets were frightened and panicked. Some unlucky planets were even occupied or destroyed. Sun Weiyuan himself did not encounter any accident, but he stirred up a hornet's nest and ran away, causing disaster to passers-by. King Kai secretly groaned, what was going on? Frieza alone was enough to give him a headache, and now here came Cooler and Slug who were no weaker than Frieza, who could control them. He thought of the 2 brothers Goiwan again and muttered, no way. Even if Goku used 5 times Kaioken, his combat power is only over 9 million. The 3 of them have at least over 100 million combat powers. The stronger Goiwan is estimated to have only over 10 million combat power. After a period of madness, King Kai calmed down helplessly and lay dejectedly on a recliner. At Baizai Mountain, Sun Gohan took out a fruit from the spirit tree and gave it to his grandfather Sun Gohan. The latter took the fruit and asked, Gohan, what kind of fruit is this? Grandpa has never seen it before. This is called the fruit of the spirit tree. It is said that it is a fruit that only the gods in the divine world can enjoy. Eating it can increase your strength and lifespan. Sun Weiyuan explained. Increase strength and longevity? I didn't expect there would be such a thing in the world. Where did you get it? Was it given to you by God? Sun Gohan didn't particularly care about strength and longevity. He just wanted to watch the 2 grandsons he raised grow up and become successful. My brother and I got it from a planet in the universe. The spirit tree is super big. Little Goku told his grandfather the whole story. Amazing, I didn't expect you have grown to the point where you can help Lord Kai. Goiwan, Goku, come here and let Grandpa check if you are injured. As old son Gohan said this, he touched and patted Goiwan and Goku to check, and was completely relieved after finding that they were indeed not hurt. Grandpa, you don't have to worry too much about our safety. I know instant transmission. If we encounter an enemy we can't defeat, I will bring Goku back as soon as possible. Even if he is injured, he can eat a senzu bean obtained from Sage Krillin. No matter how serious the injury is, as long as he is not dead, he can heal instantly by eating a senzu bean. Sun Weiyuan said with a smile. That's good, I've almost prepared the food, you wait here for a moment and then we'll start eating. While eating, old Son Gohan couldn't help laughing again when he saw Son Goku eating. Goku, don't be anxious. Eat slowly. There is still a lot. You must eat more to grow. Your brother had grown into a handsome young man when he was about your age. But you are still so small and cute. You must eat. There is no shortage of food in our family. Sun Weiyuan felt ashamed after hearing this. Goku's appetite was not small. The food he and his grandfather ate together was not even 1/10 of what Goku ate alone. Chapter 39. At the headquarters of the Frieza Corps in the Northern Galaxy, Lord Frieza, according to the news sent by his subordinates, the fruit of the spirit tree was taken away by a mysterious person first. The spirit tree was cut down, and the group of people who got the seeds of the spirit tree were killed. Oh! Wow! There is actually someone who came out of nowhere and snatched the fruit of the spirit tree from me, Frieza. Interesting, things are getting more and more interesting. Mr. Champo, is there any other news? Asked Frieza, who was sitting in the stroller. Your Majesty, King Frieza, I have discovered that the person who planted the spirit tree was a scion named Tulz, a low-level soldier who survived by chance because he did not return in time before Vegeta exploded. However, we have not found Tull's body on that planet, and we cannot be sure whether he is dead or alive. In addition, the mecha troops under King Cooler have also been active in our chassis recently, and we have even spotted Slug. Shambo told all the relevant information he had received truthfully. Tull's? A poor homeless monkey is so lucky to get the seeds of the spirit tree. The old man Slag must be dying soon, so he is so eager to find the fruit of the spirit tree. As for my dear brother, as long as they don't hinder our plan to conquer other planets, we don't need to pay attention to them for the time being. Yes, my king. How are the scions Vegeta? Vegeta's strength is improving very quickly, and it's almost 12,000. The other two scions have negligible combat power, but their personalities are very arrogant. However, Great Ape's words are still a bit tricky. Should we wipe them out to prevent future troubles? Shangbo said with some concern. Haha. Mr. Shangbo, you worry too much. Scion is just a group of savage monkeys. The golden warrior that appears in the legend is just a joke. Frieza said with disdain. He was very confident in his own strength. He himself was a genius of the Ice Demon clan. Even if there really was a golden warrior, he would not be his opponent. The reason why they kept Vegeta and several scions was because they saw Vegeta's talent. They brought this most talented scion under their command to see if he could become the legendary golden warrior, the super scion that their ancestors mentioned that terrified their frozen demon clan. Unfortunately, judging from the current situation, there is little hope. If we allow it to grow, it will not be able to grow to the point where it can compete with us. After so many years, its combat power is still only 12,000. Scion, who is known to have the strongest talent, is really disappointing. Investigate the identity of the mysterious person who stole the spirit tree fruit. The spirit tree fruit is a rare good thing and cannot be easily missed. Things of my universe Emperor Frieza are not so easy to get. Shaviza, Nez, and Dre, you three failed to grab the fruit of the spirit tree this time? I'll give you a chance to explain, asked Frieza's brother Cooler. Report to the king. Before our spaceship approached the planet where the spirit tree is located, the large combat force detector in the spaceship detected several extremely powerful forces. Cooler seemed to be a little interested and said, "Go on." Among the first 6 forces detected, 5 have a combat power of less than 100,000. Although they are top-notch masters in the universe, we still don't take them seriously. The 6th one has 430,000, and this is not the highest. When we get closer, a combat power of up to 600,000 appears. The most terrifying thing is that an energy reaction with a combat power of up to 9 million appears later. It is really too exaggerated. So you were scared to the point of peeing your pants and running away? Cooler said in a flat tone, looking at Shaza with a clever look in his eyes. Dre hurriedly said, "King Cooler, we did not flee, but continued to move forward. When we were about to reach our destination, an extremely terrifying energy was detected in the spacecraft, exceeding the combat power limit of 50 million, and the detector exploded. When the 3 of us arrived, we only found 5 bodies and the stump of the spirit tree on the planet. We guessed that the people who were killed were the ones who planted the spirit tree. The fruit of the spirit tree was probably taken away by the owners of several energies that appeared later. We are still investigating whether it was taken away by strong men with 600,000, 9 million, or more than 50 million. When did such a master appear in the northern galaxy? It seems that the failure of your mission this time is not entirely your fault. According to what you said, the 9 million combat power suddenly appeared, and the 600,000 combat power value immediately disappeared. So there is only one truth: after the 600,000 combat power person killed the group of people who planted the spirit tree, he was killed instantly by the 9 million combat power person who appeared later. And the strong man with a combat power of more than 50 million who appeared at the end probably missed. Slag is the strong man with a combat power of more than 50 million. Cooler said confidently. Little Goku, good man, I killed myself. You are worthy of being the Cooler King. I admire you. ×3 Slug took action himself, but someone snatched away the fruit of the spirit tree first. No wonder he has been a little crazy in the North Galaxy recently. By the way, any reaction from my dear brother Frieza? Cooler suddenly mentioned his talented but lazy brother. His strength is far inferior to his, but he still seals his own strength and is not afraid of being killed in one fell swoop one day. He doesn't even have time to transform. His combat power of 530,000 is really too weak. It's a waste of his innate talent. King Frieza doesn't seem to be reacting at all. he's still conquering other planets. At this time, Slag was roaring at his men, a bunch of rubbish, so many days have passed and there is still no news about the spirit tree. His 5 trusted subordinates, Ankira, Dorodapo, Kixiu, Kigu, and Big Eyes all dared not respond. King Slag's temper was getting worse and worse, and they were worried that they would lose their lives if they were not careful. King Kai wiped the sweat from his forehead on King Kai's planet. Fortunately, Gon and Goku left earlier that day, otherwise things would have been terrible. But when he thought about Sun Weiyuan sleeping peacefully at that time, using his best move to chop trees, and Goku using his Kaioken to chop wood, why should I worry about those 2 brats? Really, why should I worry when they themselves are not worried? King Kai fell into silent thinking. Weiyuan, you're so fast this time. Bulma said in surprise. I think it's already very slow. It depends on whether I want to or not. If I want to, I can actually go faster. The slower I go, the less tired my body will be. The process feels very comfortable. Chapter 40. How could he not feel comfortable? Sun Weiyuan did nothing except slapping days to death and chopping down the spirit tree. The most tiring work, chopping wood, was left to Goku. He slept comfortably, and after waking up, he went back to Baizai Mountain with Goku. By the way, Bulma, is the combat power detector I asked you to modify for me completed? The previous combat power detector had an upper limit of 1 million, which was too low. Several of them exploded, and I don't know what my current combat power level is. Sun Weiyuan looked at Bulma with some anticipation. Bulma took out a combat power detector from the universal capsule and handed it to him. I spent a lot of effort to make this. The combat power limit it can measure is 100 times higher than before, which means it has a combat power limit of 100 million. I think it will be enough for you for a long time. After all, Krillin and the others only had a combat power of over 100 a month ago. Sun Weiyuan put on the combat power detector and was about to release his energy, but then he thought it was not safe enough. It would be bad if his presence was detected by some instrument of Frieza's army. Bulma, wait for me for a moment. I'm going to King Kai to test my current fighting power. Bulma asked in confusion, can't we measure our combat power here? Why do we have to go to King Kai? This is too troublesome. Actually, I don't want to either, but there is a powerful evil legion in our universe, and I don't know if I can be their opponent. If I rashly unleash my strength, and the people in that legion detect my presence, it might cause unnecessary trouble. Sun Weiyuan said truthfully. Is that so? How about I go with you to King Kai? Is that okay? I've never seen King Kai in my life, not even the gods on earth. I really want to see what King Kai looks like. If King Kai was a normal planet, Sun Goiwan would definitely agree to Bulma, but the problem is that King Kai is not big in size, but has a strong gravity, which is 10 times that of the Earth. For a scum like Bulma whose combat power is less than 5. For a delicate beauty whose combat power is less than 5, going to King Kai's planet is no different from committing suicide. No, the gravity of King Kai is 10 times that of the Earth. There is no way your body can withstand it. Is that so? That's such a pity. Wait for me a moment, I'm back from King Kai's planet and have something to give you. After saying that, Sun Goiwan went to King Kai's planet without waiting for Bulma to speak. Hello. Lord Kai, long time no see. King Kai was startled by the sudden appearance of Sun Weiyuan. Weiyuan, you came here to say hello first. You are so elusive that it is scary. Sooner or later, you will scare me to death. Sir King Kai, what you said is inappropriate. You are a god. How can a ghost that appears and disappears scare you? Even if it can, you can't have a heart attack. I don't want to argue with you, just move aside and stop blocking my sunbathing. There's no sun around King Kai. Wu Yuan, you really are losing your sense of humor. Tell me, what's the matter with you? It's okay, just continue to bask in the sun and don't worry about me. When King Kai heard what Sun Weiyuan said, he really ignored it and lay quietly on the recliner, wearing sunglasses and with his hands on his belly. Sun Weiyuan no longer restrained his aura, and white flames suddenly rose from his body. With him as the center, the energy spread in all directions, and King Kai, who was caught off guard, was blown away in an instant. Goiwan, why are you bursting out with such a powerful energy? Hey, wait, you actually have such powerful strength, so strong. King Kai was very surprised, sweat was pouring down his forehead, he knew that Sun Goiwan was very strong, even stronger than Goku, but he didn't expect him to be so much stronger. This kid Goiwan hid too deeply, and he had never discovered it before. Sun Weiyuan saw the data on the combat power detector soaring rapidly. After seeing the final stable data, he was a little happy. Wow, handsome guys are so powerful, 66.66 million combat power. If he uses Kaioken, it will be no problem to kill Frieza. That's great, Goiwan is so powerful. After Cooler and Slug leave the Northern Galaxy, I can let Goiwan kill Frieza, and my Northern Galaxy can slowly return to peace. The peace King Kai talked about was only relative. Without the large-scale destruction like Frieza's army, how could there be absolute peace in the universe? The depression of the past few days was swept away, and King Kai happily ran dozens of laps on his own planet Kai. Son Goku also felt it in the gravity room of Baizai Mountain. Brother, have you gone to King Kai again? So strong, King Kai's planet is so far away from the Earth, but I can still feel the inexplicable pressure. Brother's true strength is so strong. Yoshi, I have to work harder too. In the Temple of the Gods, Krillin and Yamcha finished their training today. They passed the test of the immortal Krillin 10 days ago and came to ask the gods for advice on training. They can feel that their strength is much stronger than before, and they are becoming more and more confident in their practice. Yamcha said happily, Krillin, I think if we keep going like this it won't be long before we can catch up to Goku and Gon, maybe even surpass them. Krillin felt his throat dry when he heard this and swallowed his saliva. Yamcha is a little too proud. Although their strength has improved rapidly in recent times, it is limited, and may not have a combat power of 200. I remember that Goku's combat power exceeded 10,000 a few years ago, and now the combat power detector with a maximum limit of 1 million can no longer measure it. He really didn't know where Yamcha got the confidence to surpass those two perverts, senior brother Gozen and Goku. Yamcha, just be happy, but don't take it seriously. Sun Goiwan on King Kai is still considering whether to use Kaioken, but he thinks that the upper limit of the combat power detector is only 100 million. If the double Kaioken is used, it will explode. He will go back and ask Bulma to improve it. It would be best if it can detect 18 billion combat power. After saying goodbye to King Kai, Sun Weiyuan instant transmission returned to Bulma, and Bulma immediately asked, how is it? What is your full combat power now? Not much, only 66,660,000. What? In that case, it seems like you won't be able to use the combat power detector for much longer. Bulma said. In fact, I haven't reached my strongest state yet, otherwise this combat power detector would be broken. Sun Weiyuan said helplessly, can Bulma improve it further and raise the upper limit? Bulma frowned and said, it's difficult. This combat power detection is almost reaching its limit. If we want to improve it further, we can only reduce its accuracy, increase its size, or make a breakthrough in materials. Oh? How do you mean? The accuracy of this combat power detector is 1. If the accuracy is increased to 10,000, the strength of the most important and most easily damaged parts can be greatly improved, and naturally its detection limit can also be increased. Chapter 41. Then let's change it to units of 10,000. Anyway, the deviation in combat power below 10,000 doesn't matter. Sun Weiyuan said. Krillin and Yamcha in the Temple of Heaven suddenly sneezed twice in succession. HHU. Hachu. Krillin touched his bald head which was becoming increasingly shiny. Strange, why did we sneeze for no reason? Is someone plotting against us? Sun Weiyuan, oh my. We were discovered. Yamcha put his hands on his hips and smiled, there must be a beautiful woman who misses me. Unfortunately, I am now obsessed with practicing and cannot extricate myself. I am destined to be the man they can't get. At this moment, Bulma was thinking about what Sun Weiyuan had said before, that he had a gift for her. What was the gift? Oh my! I'm so looking forward to it. I've known Weiyuan for such a long time, but he has never given me a gift. Could it be a jewel necklace or something? Should I take the opportunity to kiss him later? It seems like I haven't kissed him for a while. Has he finally gotten the hang of it? He knows how to give gifts to please his girlfriend. If he gave me a ring and proposed to me, should I agree to him, or agree to him? Bulma didn't know what she was thinking about, and her face turned red. Sun Weiyuan, who was standing next to her, noticed why Bulma's face turned red. He looked up at the bright sun. Yes, an ordinary, weak girl might get sick if she stayed in the sun for too long. He reached out and touched Bulma's forehead, then touched his own forehead, and muttered, "The temperature is normal, women are so strange, their expressions change so quickly." Besides, Bulma waited and waited but didn't get the gift that Sun Weiyuan wanted to give her. Instead, she touched her forehead for no apparent reason. "Wu Yuan, why are you touching my forehead?" "Ha! It's okay. Bulma, I guess Wu Yuan won't forget it. I guess I have to take the initiative." "Wu Yuan, didn't you just say you had a gift for me?" Bulma paused and didn't continue. Sun Weiyuan slapped his forehead and said, "Yes, yes, yes. Look at my memory. I almost forgot. It's time to give it to you." Bulma was so excited when she heard this. She seemed to see Sun Weiyuan taking out an engagement ring, kneeling on one knee and proposing to her affectionately, asking her if she was willing. "I do." What did you say, Sigma? LLL, the hand that Sun Weiyuan handed over the fruit of the spirit tree froze. Bulma finally woke up from her fantasy and saw Sun Weiyuan handing her a fruit. She asked bluntly, "Where's the ring?" "What? This spirit tree fruit is what I want to give you." Sun Weiyuan felt that Bulma was very abnormal. The eyes she looked at him seemed to turn green, just like the eyes of a wolf when hunting at night. "Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this woman?" "Just a fruit." Bulma's mood fell to the bottom and she became uninterested. "What? Is the fruit of the spirit tree so bad? Many people want it but don't have the chance. Were you listening to me just now?" There was no other way, so Sun Weiyuan had to say again, "This is the fruit of the spirit tree, it is very rare, eating it can increase your strength and lifespan." "Oh, dash omega dash." Bulma still couldn't muster up interest. "Of course, these are not the most important things. Eating it can improve your appearance and prolong your life." Bulma's eyes lit up when she heard the words beauty and skincare. "Really? It's more real than pearls, and women who eat white rabbit can have a firmer en without sagging." Sun Weiyuan whispered in Bulma's ear. "Ah! Hate it. Hi! Women have strange thoughts. Isn't it more important to increase strength and prolong life?" Bulma took the fruit and prepared to eat it, but Sun Weiyuan said, "Don't eat it yet. I'll take you to a place." "Where are you going?" "The hometown of the current god, Namek." "Ah? God is an alien?" Bulma asked in surprise. "You're right. I've been there once with Goku before. Hold on to me, let's do instant transmission." "Well, Bulma, can't you be a little more elegant?" Sun Goiwan felt that his decision to capture Bulma was a bit hasty. "You said hold you tight, that's right." Bulma said with a smile. This woman hugged him tightly like an octopus, with her long legs wrapped around his waist, and her face rubbed against his chest restlessly. It seemed that he was inferior to her in some aspects. "I tell you, this woman is playing with fire." Sun Weiyuan's little brothers have become full of fighting spirit and are ready to go. He wrote it down for Bulma in his little notebook again, and said, "Don't be proud of yourself. I will make you pay back with interest someday." After finding Nailu's presence, Sun Weiyuan appeared on Namek. "Hey, Nailu, long time no see. It's you, Sun Weiyuan, and she is. Her name is Bulma, my girlfriend." "What is a girlfriend?" Nailu asked curiously. Bulma looked at the green-faced weirdo in front of her and said, "A girlfriend is the female half of a couple. Have you never been in a relationship at your age?" Sun Weiyuan and Neilu were collectively speechless. Sun Weiyuan, what kind of love is he talking about? Nailu, what kind of love am I talking about? Bulma, in the tribe of Neru, there is no distinction between men and women, so there is no need for romance _. Sun Weiyuan immediately explained to her. "Ah. Omega, no, there is no distinction between boys and girls, so how do you reproduce?" Bulma asked curiously. "We reproduce by laying eggs through our mouths. Except for the one sent by Sun Weiyuan last time, all the people on Namek are children of the Great Elder." Nalu replied. Bulma was stunned. "Is your Great Elder so fertile? It's amazing that he gave birth to a whole planet by himself." She thought to herself, how can there be such a boring race in the world? They can't even have a romantic relationship, and they can't do the things that both men and women love to do. Sun Weiyuan felt a headache. "Bulma, you don't have to be too surprised. There are countless races in the universe, and they all have their own way of existence. There are even races born from trees. The way the Namek people reproduce is not strange. Moreover, the Great Elder is not as fertile as you think. There are only more than 100 people in the entire Namek, not as many as the people on Earth. Bulma said seriously, more than 100 is a lot. I definitely won't be able to have that many children in the future. Children? How many children should Bulma have in the future? Too many would be hard to take care of and a headache, but too few would make him look incompetent, so he should compromise and have 8 or 10. A drop of sweat rolled down Nilou's forehead. These two guests from Earth don't seem to be normal. Sun Weiyuan, are you here to see the Great Elder? If it's nothing important, I don't want you to disturb the Great Elder's rest. You, understand what I mean? Nilou said in embarrassment. I understand. How could I not understand? Don't worry, I promise that meeting the Great Elder this time is not a bad thing. Sun Weiyuan promised, patting his chest. That's good. The Great Elder knows you are coming. Follow me in. Chapter 42. When Bulma saw the Great Elder, she lost her composure again. No wonder he's called the Great Elder, he's really that big. Hello, Great Elder, smiley face, I missed you so much after not seeing you for a month. How are you doing recently? Sun Weiyuan politely chatted with the Great Elder and asked if Piccolo had hatched. After all, he came to ask the Great Elder for help in developing Bulma's potential, so he wouldn't go straight to the point right away, as that would give people a bad impression. Great Elder, do you recognize this fruit? Sun Weiyuan took out a fruit from the spirit tree, kept it a secret, and asked the Great Elder. The Great Elder smiled kindly and said, this should be the fruit of the spirit tree that only gods can eat in the legend. Sun Weiyuan laughed cheerfully and said, the Great Elder is indeed well informed and knowledgeable. I got this by chance. I came here mainly to give the Great Elder a fruit from the spirit tree. I will develop the potential of the girl next to you. Niru, please take the fruit of the spirit tree. With it, I may be able to add a few decades to my life, said the elder calmly. Upon hearing this, Neilu carefully collected the fruit of the spirit tree, and when he looked at Sun Weiyuan, he seemed to be much more pleased with him. As expected of an old man full of wisdom, he immediately saw through his intention and asked Bulma to move forward. Weiyuan, what are you doing? Bulma was very confused. The Great Elder possesses incredible abilities that can bring out the potential in the human body and make you stronger. I will teach you flying technique when the time comes. It is always a good thing to have some martial arts skills. Bulma asked as she walked forward, so after the development, will I be as good as you? This one sentence left Sun Weiyuan, Neilu, and even the Great Elder speechless, and the surroundings suddenly became eerily quiet. Ahem. How should I put it? This depends on your own potential. If you have a very high talent in martial arts and great potential, you may become very powerful, and the results will appear soon. Bulma is just an ordinary person now, with a combat power of less than 5. If he wants to surpass him in an instant, perhaps he can only find Super Shenron to achieve it. Wow, Weiyuan, I feel full of strength all over my body now. I seem to have become very powerful. Bulma said excitedly. Sun Weiyuan muttered to himself, it seems there is not much difference. Combat power detector, let me see what my current combat power is. Bulma quickly saw her own combat power, 80. Her pretty face immediately fell. How could it be only 80? Bulma, what's your combat power? Only 80, so few. I thought I could catch up with you. The gap between me and Weiyuan is so huge. It's just a few billion. The detector she made for Sun Weiyuan, which has a maximum combat power of 100 million, cannot measure Sun Weiyuan's combat power value in his strongest state. Sun Weiyuan patiently comforted him, you are already very good. You have never practiced martial arts, but now you are stronger than 99.999% of the people on Earth. Many experienced martial artists are no longer your opponents. As for me, I have been practicing with my grandfather since I was 3 years old. I have been practicing in the coldest days of winter and the hottest days of summer. I have also been practicing with Master Wu Tian, the immortal Krillin, the gods and the king of the realm for so many years. I have also received help from the Great Elder to have my current strength. For us Earthlings, improving our strength is not that easy. The matter came to an end. Sun Weiyuan said goodbye to the Great Elder and returned to Earth with Bulma. Weiyuan, should I eat the fruit of the spirit tree now? Bulma asked. She was a scientific genius, but she knew very little about martial arts. You should practice with me for a while, and then eat the fruit of the spirit tree when you have completely mastered the power in your body. Without a certain foundation in martial arts, blindly increasing strength is not a good thing. Sun Weiyuan said seriously. After all, this is someone he likes, so he still has to be attentive to him. Weiyuan, will it be very hard? It's okay. You may feel some pain at the beginning, but it will be quite pleasant after the pain passes. Don't worry, I will try my best to slow down so that your body can get used to it, and then speed up and try to finish it in the shortest possible time. Over the next 6 months, Sun Weiyuan taught Bulma the basics of martial arts, including the afterimage fist, flying technique and Kamehameha wave. Bulma also ate a fruit from the spirit tree, and her combat power skyrocketed to 80,000 when she first ate it. Unfortunately, as the energy dissipated, it finally stabilized to just over 2,000, which was really disappointing. Sun Weiyuan finally came to a conclusion: Bulma has no heart for martial arts. Although he has been teaching her seriously during this period, Bulma simply cannot bear the more intense training. She was very active in the training when the novelty had not worn off, but later he could not urge her to practice anymore, so he had to announce the end of the training. Anyway, 2,000 combat power was enough for her. Instead, she teased him in various ways. If Sun Weiyuan hadn't silently recited the heart purification mantra, number 18, number 18. It's possible that he could be won over by Bulma, but he felt that he had been getting more and more irritable over the past 6 months, and who knows, one day he and Bulma might get into a passionate conflict and it would be out of control. It is said that there is only a difference between 0 times and countless times, and it is very addictive, making people forget about food and sleep, linger on, and become deeply unable to extricate themselves. Hold on, you must hold on. A real man cannot hang himself on one tree. Even if he cannot own a forest, he should hang himself on 2 trees. Krillin in the Temple of Heaven suddenly shuddered, as if something important of his was about to be lost. Tian Xinyan and Jiaozi successfully completed the training of Master Wu Tian and Krillin, and went to the Heavenly Temple to practice. Yam Sha was eager to compete with Tian Xinyan, or more precisely, to show off his skills. He lost to Tian Xinyan in the World Martial Arts Tournament, so he wanted to give him a good beating before he started training in the Heavenly God Temple, otherwise he might not have another chance in the future. In the end, he really defeated Tian Xinyan, and finished with a cool Wolf Fang Wind Fist. Krillin shook his head, thinking that Yam Sha's victory was unfair. Sun Weiyuan returned to Baizai Mountain to think about his future training. He felt that his training speed was not fast enough. At this rate, the basic combat power may not reach 100 million before the next World No. 1 Martial Arts Tournament begins, which will take more than 2 years. In fact, he now wants Goku to go into the Spirit Time Chamber with him to train for 2 years, but Goku has not yet transformed into a Super Saiyan. And each person can only enter the Spirit Time Chamber to train for 2 years. If you go in too early, the effect will not be maximized. Sun Weiyuan has used 3 fruits from the Spirit Tree, and there are 165 left. Chapter 43. Sun Weiyuan has used 3 fruits of the Spirit Tree, and there are 165 left, which he should be able to use to improve his strength. The fruit of the Spirit Tree contains enormous energy, but although the person who takes it can improve his strength a little, most of the energy is lost because the person's body cannot absorb it. Moreover, the amount of energy that different people can absorb is also very different. Tulz, who has pure Saiyan blood, has a much stronger ability to absorb the energy of the Spirit Tree fruit than his universe people. The universe people under Tulz are much better at absorbing the energy of the fruit of the Spirit Tree than Bulma, who is of Earthling descent. I don't know how well I absorb the energy of the Spirit Tree fruit. I am also of Earthling descent. Maybe I am stronger than Bulma, but probably not as good as Tulz of Saiyan descent. Sun Weiyuan said to himself. Take one first to see the effect. If the combat power increased by 1 pill is not even 100,000, then there is no need to waste the fruit of the Spirit Tree. Sun Weiyuan took out a fruit from the Spirit Tree and ate it in a few bites. Not bad, it tastes really good, very delicious, worthy of being something that only gods can eat. He suddenly thought of a purple, skinny big cat wolfing down instant noodles. It seems that the food God eats may not be delicious. The power in his body surged continuously, and he could clearly feel his chi growing stronger. I underestimated the fruit of the Spirit Tree. I didn't expect that the energy inside is not only huge, but also easily absorbed by the body. The speed is much faster than the speed of absorbing vital energy. After swallowing a fruit from the Spirit Tree, Sun Weiyuan felt bloated. This was not a feeling from his stomach, but rather that all the cells in his body seemed to be bloated from consuming too much energy. He had never encountered this situation before when absorbing vital energy to practice. It seems that I have too much energy and strength, just like I have been given a shot of chicken blood. I have to vent it, otherwise I won't be able to sleep tonight. For some reason, when he thought of venting his excessive energy, Bulma in the bath came to his mind. Stay calm. That time there was a small accident with your instant transmission. Don't think too much about it. To be honest, Bulma is really too talented. Most people can't handle her at all. Goku, come with me to King Kai Star. Sun Goiwan turned off the switch of the gravity room, walked up to Goku and said. In the past 6 months, Goku has finally started to grow taller again. He is no longer just 1.2 meters tall, but has entered a period of rapid growth. Brother, what are we going to do with Lord King Kai? Are there any bad guys who need us to take action again? Goku was puzzled. No, I think it's not a good idea for you to stay in the gravity room and practice all day. Practicing not only requires great strength, but also rich combat experience to become an excellent warrior. So, I plan to take you to practice with Lord King Kai for a while to improve your combat experience. Sun Weiyuan said without blinking. Son Goku almost jumped up with excitement after hearing this. It had been a long time since his elder brother had practiced with him, the last time being in Namek. That's great, big brother, don't go easy on me during training. You must give it your all. I want to see how big the gap between us is. Sun Weiyuan, after all my life, you are still the only one who makes this kind of request to me, Goku. Big brother must satisfy this small request of yours. Don't worry, I know my limits. Put your hands on my shoulders and I'll take you to King Kai Star. Let's go. Hey! Weiyuan, Goku, why are you here again? King Kai asked curiously. It's okay, we're not here to eat for free, Lord Kai, don't worry. Goku, let's get started. The two men pushed the ground with their feet almost at the same time and rushed towards each other at high speed. Their fists collided, and a dull roar was heard in the air. Sun Goiwan kicked out with his left foot, Goku raised his knee to block, and his body flew backwards. Sun Goiwan casually sent out a ki blast to hit Goku who was flying backwards. When ki blast was about to hit Goku's body, he swung his arm suddenly and sent him flying out of King Kai's planet. Sun Goiwan seized the opportunity and instant transmission to Goku's back, then slapped Son Goku on the forehead. Son Goku was shot into the land of King Kai's planet like a bullet. Dust rolled up in the air. The battle was not over yet. Son Goku could feel the energy rising rapidly. This is probably Goku's full strength under normal circumstances. Goku really works. The speed at which the energy of the spirit tree fruit in my body is absorbed has increased. As the battle between Son Goku and Sun Weiyuan continued, King Kai's planet was covered with many large and small pits. King Kai and his pet gorillas Bobris and Gregory were hiding on the ground. Occasionally, a stray ki blast exploded next to them and they were knocked over by the air wave. You two, stop it right now. If you continue like this, my King Kai planet will be destroyed by you. King Kai shouted angrily. But the battle between Sun Weiyuan and Sun Weiyuan has just reached its climax, so there is no time to stop. Anyway, King Kai has the ability to repair King Kai's planet, as long as it doesn't explode. 10 times Kaioken. The white aura on Son Goku turned red. King Kai was shocked. So strong. Goku can actually use 10 times Kaioken. This is beyond my expectation. I thought 3 times Kaioken was the limit that the human body can withstand. Maybe my Kaioken will be carried forward in the hands of this silly boy Goku, ha 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 ha. But Goiwan's strength, without even using Kaioken, can easily withstand Goku's attack. If he can also use 10 times Kaioken, Frieza, Slug, and the strongest Cooler may not be his opponents. It's just that Goiwan doesn't have Goku's strong Saiyan physique, so he can't use 10 times Kaioken. When Son Goku was about to absorb all the energy from the spirit tree fruit, he said, Goku, it's time to end it. Brother, stop it. I haven't hit you enough. As he said the last word, a familiar slap landed on a very familiar spot, and then Goku fainted again without any surprise. Sorry, Goku. I know you still want to fight, but I, your big brother, need to eat a spirit tree fruit and see how much combat power this spirit tree fruit has increased for me. Don't worry, I'll wake you up in a minute and beat you until you can't get up. After all, it feels really good to beat up your own brother. Sun Weiyuan opened Bulma's improved combat power detector and found that his combat power had increased by 2 million. Oh my god, this is outrageous. A spirit tree fruit actually has so much energy. How much energy did Tulls and the others waste by eating the spirit tree fruit? Although the energy of the spirit tree fruit exceeded his expectations, he thought that it was the fruit produced after the spirit tree absorbed the vitality of an entire planet, and his absorption rate of the fruit energy was so high. He just didn't know if his body would reject it and make the effect of the spirit tree fruit less effective. Chapter 44. Half an hour later, Goku woke up from his coma and rubbed the place on his head where he was hit. Brother, can you please not hit me on the back of the head next time? Grandpa said that hitting there can easily make people stupid. Well, I'll try to watch you next time. Don't worry, I'm not going to trick you again. I'm ready. Do you want to continue, Goku? Brother, you must not slap me on the back of the head again this time. Goku said worriedly. Sun Weiyuan agreed not to slap him on the back of the head. He said to himself, just control the strength. It's also okay to use a fist instead of a slap. This time, Son Goku did not increase his strength step by step to collide with Son Goiwan like he did before, but directly used 10 times the Kaioken. Seeing that the situation was not good, King Kai quickly said, "You two, stop fighting. My King Kai's planet is about to be torn apart by you." The roof of his little house was gone, leaving only about 1 meter of wall, and the only fruit tree on King Kai's planet also fell down. His voice was loud, but the sound waves produced by the fierce battle between Son Goku and Son Goku were even louder. They were so immersed in the battle that they completely ignored what King Kai said. During that day, Son Goiwan consumed a total of 5 spirit tree fruits. Goku was beaten black and blue by him. If it weren't for his hairstyle, the eldest brother would hardly recognize him as his younger brother Son Goku. Son Goku was covered in wounds and couldn't even get up. He lay face down in a pit. Weiyuan, you were too harsh. It looks like it will take more than a month for him to recover. It's just a sparring match, right? Why are you taking it so seriously and hitting him so hard? King Kai said with mixed emotions. His home had been ruined by these two people, and in the end he still had to worry about them. Sun Weiyuan shrugged and said innocently and helplessly, "Lord Kai, you know Goku's character. He is very stubborn and a natural fighter. He will never give up easily. Although he is seriously injured and unconscious now, it is not a big problem. Sion has a good physique and can withstand a lot of beatings. You're not nervous even though Goku is injured like this. I don't know whether he is lucky or unlucky to have you as his brother. Do you want to send Goku to Namek to heal or return to Earth?" King Kai asked. Of course Goku is lucky to have me as his elder brother. I have always been thinking about him since he was a child. Well, we plan to train with you, Lord King Kai, for a long time and will not leave King Kai's planet for the time being. As for Goku's injury, it's a piece of cake. Have you forgotten that I have senzu beans in my hand? Son Goiwan grinned. At this time, Goku was still lying in a pit. If you hadn't told me, Goiwan, I would have forgotten that there are precious things like senzu beans on Earth. But Goku is really an outlier. I have been in charge of the Northern Galaxy for many years, but this is the first time I have seen a Scion as kind and peaceful as Goku. Cruelty and brutality are the norm for Scions. King Kai sighed. Sun Weiyuan said strangely, "Didn't I tell you?" Goku had a very bad temper before he was 1 year old, and he especially liked to bite people. One day after he was 1 year old, when Grandpa took us into the mountains and passed by a cliff, he climbed out of the backpack and fell off the cliff, hitting his head on a rock. It took a long time to recover, and then his personality became better. Goku is still lying in a pit, not waking up. So that's how it is. I wonder how much you, Lord Kai, know about the Scion race. Sun Weiyuan knew a lot about the Scion himself, but he wanted to hear if there were any secrets about the Scion race that he didn't know about. Scion? I don't know much about it. Planet Vegeta used to be called Zivil, and there were 2 races living on it, the Zivil and the Scion. The Zivil had advanced technology and civilization, while the Scion were quite primitive and barbaric. However, the war between the 2 races ended with the Scion victory. The Scions wiped out all the Zivil on the planet and renamed Zivil to Planet Vegeta. Goku disappeared after lying in some pit for over half an hour again, and King Kai told Son Goiwan what he knew. In fact, he knew all that King Kai said. King Kai even said that the destruction of planet Vegeta was due to the fact that the gods on planet Vegeta were dissatisfied with Sion's atrocities and brought down a meteorite to destroy it. Sun Weiyuan thought to himself, it seems that King Kai's understanding of Sion is extremely limited. He doesn't even know that planet Vegeta was not destroyed by God, but by Frieza. King Kai suddenly said in surprise, Wu Yuan, did we forget something? It seems like something is missing, Goku, we seem to have forgotten to treat Goku's injuries. Sun Weiyuan sighed in his heart, Goku. It seems that I am your big brother who is reliable at the critical moment. Only I remembered that you were seriously injured. King Kai is really too outrageous. Goiwan, you are so unreliable. You can forget about your big brother lying in the pit. Poor Goku actually has such an irresponsible brother like you. Lord Kai, you are Goku's teacher. You forgot it, but I can still remember it. Goku moved his fingers, slowly opened his eyes, and climbed out of the pit with great effort. He saw his eldest brother arguing with King Kai about something, and he staggered over. Wow Omega, my lovely brother, you're awake. Here, take the senzu beans and eat them. Once a senzu bean enters your stomach, your life will be in your own hands. Sun Weiyuan said guiltily as he looked at Goku, whose head was almost turning into a pig. After eating a senzu bean, Son Goku was immediately revived to full health and happily gestured to the air. Gurgle gurgle, I'm so hungry. Big brother, does Lord Kai have anything to eat? Son Goku looked at Sun Goiwan and King Kai expectantly. Lord Kai, I'll leave the meal to you. What? Goiwan, you guys are causing trouble on my King Kai planet, and I still have to feed you when you are hungry. Didn't you bring any food with you? King Kai said dissatisfiedly. Goku and I came here in a hurry, so we didn't have time to prepare food. Lord Kai, you are so magnanimous and kind that you will definitely not let us go hungry, right? But I don't have much food left, and Goku eats so much. How about this, can I tell Lord Kai a joke during the meal? Sun Weiyuan said with a painful look. Deal, tell me a joke and I'll go prepare food for you. I have a very high sense of humor, Weiyuan, don't fool me with ordinary jokes. Sun Weiyuan could only hold back his laughter. I have never seen anyone with a lower sense of humor than you, King Kai. Listen carefully, Lord Kai. Once upon a time, there was a eunuch. King Kai was bewildered. Just 7 words, how could this be a joke? So he asked, what's next? There's nothing down there. What? That's all? That's not funny at all. King Kai felt that Weiyuan was fooling him. Lord Kai, think about it, there was a eunuch in the past, but he didn't have anything down there, did he? After hearing Sun Weiyuan's reminder, King Kai was stunned for a long time before he reacted, and then, ha 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 ha. Chapter 45. Ha ha ha, that's all. King Kai's loud laughter spread throughout the entire planet. He laughed while lying on the ground, kicking his legs and slapping the ground with his hands. Brother, when will King Kai stop laughing? I'm so hungry, do you have any food? I can't hold on any longer. Are your jokes too good that King Kai can't stop laughing for so long? I don't know either. How could Lord Kai laugh for so long at such a short joke? I have some dried meat here. Let me fill your stomach first. There is not much dried meat in a bag, only 2 or 3 pounds. Son Goku stuffed the meat into his mouth, and after his cheeks bulged for a while, he swallowed the meat. Brother, what kind of meat is this? It tastes great. Why haven't I eaten it before? Jared Field mouse meat. Sun Weiyuan looked at Goku's reaction and saw that Goku did not make a fuss nor show any nausea or vomiting reaction. It seemed that he was overthinking it and Goku did not have any dietary restrictions. Hey, why is King Kai still laughing? This can't go on. When can we have dinner? Look, there's a Frieza appearing in the sky over there. Sun Weiyuan shouted in a serious tone. King Kai's laughter suddenly got stuck in his throat and stopped. His face changed drastically as he looked in the direction of Sun Weiyuan's finger. I only saw the tail of the snake and the golden clouds, but I didn't see any Frieza. That's right. This is his territory, King Kai, not everyone can come here, so how could Frieza appear here? Why would Weiyuan play such a joke? It scared me to death. King Kai's breathing became a little rapid. He stroked his chest with his right hand and let out a long breath. Sun Weiyuan said sarcastically, isn't he just a little guy from the Frozen Demon clan? Our great Lord Kai, the high-ranking deity who rules the northern Milky Way, is actually nervous. How bizarre, how bizarre. He took out a bag of spicy noodles and handed it over. Here, Lord Kai, eat some spicy noodles to calm your nerves. With Goku and I here, we don't have to be afraid even if Frieza comes now. We just have to see if we can kill him. Sun Weiyuan said proudly, let alone, the feeling of pretending in front of the gods is just one word, cool. As for Frieza, that is Goku's growth task, experience baby, and has little to do with him. Of course, if Frieza really comes to Earth to cause trouble, then what else can we say? This old man who uses dirty tricks when he can't win will just use his ultimate to kill him instantly. Sun Weiyuan still envied the lifespan of the Ice Demon clan. Frieza was hundreds of years old, but he still often sat in a baby carriage. His lifespan was comparable to that of a turtle. After King Kai finished eating the spicy strips, his emotions stabilized, and he did not get too excited or surprised. Wu Yuan, don't play those kinds of jokes on me in the future. I'm worried that one day you'll scare me to death by giving me a heart attack. Hey, I've never heard that God can have a heart attack. Gurgle gurgle King Kai, you see I've told this joke and Goku is starving, you see. After the meal, Goku lay flat on the grass with a satisfied look on his face, leaving behind a pile of tall bowls filled with food, while King Kai was building the wall brick by brick. King Kai, why don't you just use your power to build it? Why go through so much trouble? You are still young and don't understand the fun of it. Don't understand? I think you, King Kai, are just bored and have nothing to do, so you are looking for something to kill time. What's the fun in that? Sun Weiyuan and his companions did not practice with King Kai for too long. After he ate 160 fruits of the spirit tree, he practiced for more than 10 days and then left. His strength has increased rapidly during this period, with a total increase of more than 200 million combat power. After testing, his combat power is more than 316 million. Not every fruit from the spirit tree can increase his combat power by 2 million. He initially guessed that there were two possibilities. One was that his body had developed resistance, similar to drug resistance, and a certain substance carrying energy in the spirit tree fruit was rejected by his body, causing the energy on the substance to be excreted from the body. The other was that the spirit tree fruit had a small amount of mysterious and unknown energy that could improve and enhance physical fitness. The human body is regarded as a container of energy, and improving and enhancing physical fitness is to expand the volume of the container. As his strength increased, the difficulty of expanding the container also increased. Of course, he didn't know the real reason either. It seemed that his plan to quickly improve his strength through the spirit tree fruit had failed. He even considered making a wish to Shenron for endless spirit tree fruit. With a combat power of more than 316 million, and Kaioken has not yet been added, he feels that this combat power is enough for him to use for a long time. In 756 AI, Goku's strength increased more and more slowly, but was getting closer and closer to his normal combat power of 3 million. As for Goiwan, his combat power increased relatively steadily, without encountering any bottlenecks, but there was no sudden increase in strength either. In April, Sun Weiyuan went to Namek to see how Piccolo, the nanny of the Sun family, was growing up. Did Piccolo plan to return to Earth? He has to be careful about this matter. If Piccolo becomes too happy on Namek, the babysitter thing will go down the drain. Piccolo's father, Piccolo Daimao, died at the hands of Son Goku, and Piccolo Daimao passed on many of his memories and hatred to Piccolo. Even though Piccolo's evil nature was washed away on Namek, he still wants to fight Goku. Sun Weiyuan. What are you doing here in Namek? Asked Nalo, who was guarding outside the Great Elder's house. It's nothing important. I just came to visit the Great Elder and see how little Piccolo is doing. I haven't seen him for a few years and I still miss him. By the way, Neru, his name is Piccolo, right? Neilu nodded and took Sun Weiyuan to see the Great Elder. He soon saw the Great Elder, who was sitting on a large chair, as steady as ever, as steady as a rock. Besides, standing next to him was a Namek man with green skin and more than 2 meters tall. This Piccolo guy was growing up so fast. In 3 years, Goku grew from 1.1 meters to 1.7 meters, almost 1.8 meters, while Piccolo grew from an egg to 2.2 meters. I don't know what hormones he took to grow so fast. Can't the Namek people photosynthesize by drinking some water? Can water injection make them grow so fast? Hello, Great Elder. Are you feeling well? Sun Weiyuan greeted with a smile. Weiyuan, you are here. Thanks to you, I am in good health, said the great elder with a smile. Piccolo suddenly walked up to Sun Weiyuan and said, your aura sounds very familiar to me. Sun Weiyuan rolled his eyes. When you were still an egg with incomplete innateness, I held you for a long time, and then sent you to Namek to complete your innateness. Chapter 46. Do you really feel that my breath is familiar? Sun Weiyuan asked Piccolo seriously, and the latter nodded. He said thoughtfully, this is probably because we belong to the same kind of people. You Namek people are a very kind race, and I am also a very kind person, so you have that sense of déjà vu. In our local dialect, it is the feeling of finding the organization. He didn't know how much Piccolo believed, but after hearing what he said, Sun Weiyuan felt that he was really kind. While walking, you may hurt the lives of ants, and you may cherish the moths that fly around the lamp. This is exactly what he said. That's right, when I travel, I use instant transmission or flying technique so I don't step on ants. I use electric lights at home so no moths die in the flames. I'm really kind. The inexperienced Piccolo was stunned by what he said. What he said seemed to make sense. Although he felt that something seemed to be wrong, he couldn't think of what was wrong. By the way, Piccolo, are you practicing and studying with the Great Elder? Sun Weiyuan asked Piccolo. Piccolo had a cool expression on his face. I started learning and practicing with the Great Elder shortly after I was born. Piccolo is a combative Namek with great talent and a heart for martial arts. If he can reunite with the gods on earth, he will once again possess the talent of a super Namek and will be many times stronger. Piccolo, you should follow him to earth this time. I know you really want to fight Son Goku, the Great Elder sighed. Piccolo's mind was a little confused. Namek was his hometown. The elders were very kind to him. He felt a sense of belonging and intimacy here. In the past 3 years, he had completely integrated into Namek's life. His desire to go to Earth can be said to be an obsession left in him by his father, Piccolo Daimao. He has long given up his ambitions for revenge and ruling the Earth, but he wants to fight Son Goku, and he has to go no matter what the outcome, otherwise he always feels that there is a hurdle that he cannot overcome. Piccolo nodded silently. Seeing this, the Great Elder said to Sun Weiyuan, I'll trouble you with Piccolo's matter. Going to Earth is a piece of cake. My family has built a villa with plenty of rooms. When the time comes, just let Piccolo choose one to live in, degree, with me here, there will be no accidents. Don't worry, Great Elder. Sun Weiyuan patted his chest and promised. Hehe, degree, the Sun family babysitter is in place. The next step is to ask Grandpa to urge Goku to get married. Anyway, he asked Grandpa to start preparations a few years ago. Now Goku has grown up, and it's time for him to marry Shishi. By then, he would try to get Goku to have more children. When a bunch of nephews and nieces come out, he won't have to worry about not being able to gather a righteous scion to transform Goku into a Super Saiyan God. Also, he would train Goku's first son well. After bidding farewell to Namek's Great Elder, Sun Weiyuan returned to Baizai Mountain with an instant transmission. Piccolo folded his hands in front of his chest, stood straight, and kept scanning the surrounding environment. Is this your home? I forgot to ask, what's your name? Piccolo asked. My name is Weiyuan, taken from a saying, Weiyuan's way, the way to climb high. Oh, one more thing, my surname is Sunday. Sun Weiyuan said with a smile. Piccolo said to himself, Goiwan, Sun Goiwan, wait, it's similar to Son Goku's name, could it be? He had a bad feeling in his heart, it seemed that the trip to Earth was a bit hasty. Do you know Son Goku? Piccolo asked nervously. You are talking about Goku, he is my younger brother, and his strength is much stronger than yours. But you are also very amazing. You have become so powerful in just 3 years. When I was 3 years old, my strength was not even 1/1000th of yours. Sun Weiyuan said with a smile. Piccolo's heart nearly jumped into his throat when he heard that. Beads of sweat slid down his forehead. I was wondering why his breath was so familiar. He was also present when Son Goku killed his father, and he said he was a kind person or something. You liar! I was still too young and naive. Looking at Piccolo's nervous look, his breath rising steadily, as if he would launch an attack at the next moment, Sun Weiyuan almost couldn't help laughing out loud. Don't be nervous, don't be nervous. We are not enemies. The Great Elder has entrusted you to me. Even if you don't trust me, Can you not trust the highly respected Great Elder who made up for your innate deficiencies and taught you earnestly? Do you think the Great Elder will harm you? Sun Weiyuan asked, looking into Piccolo's eyes. Piccolo shook his head reflexively. Even if he could believe that the universe was destroyed, he could not believe that the Great Elder wanted to harm him. The Great Elder must have his reasons for handing you over to me, so your trust in me is basically the same as your trust in the Great Elder. Don't be so nervous and hold your anger. I have no intention of harming you. The most important point is that I am much stronger than you. If I really have that idea, there is no point in your resistance. As Sun Weiyuan spoke, he intentionally or unintentionally released some of his energy. Piccolo was so shocked that he was speechless and his clothes were soaked with sweat. After Sun Weiyuan restrained his breath, Piccolo seemed to be exhausted, gasping for breath. Sun Weiyuan glanced at Piccolo. He was sweating. It was only a short while. Are the Namek people made of water? This is really possible. Piccolo only drinks water, and it has grown to more than 2 meters tall in just 3 years. It is almost the same as if it were made of water. Goku is training in the gravity room. Piccolo, are you going to go find Goku and get beaten up now? Sun Weiyuan said to himself in his heart, Goku, I have found a nanny for your future child. It depends on your ability whether you can keep him. Piccolo's strength was not weak. The Great Elder not only made up for his innate deficiencies, but also developed his potential. Sun Weiyuan used the combat power detector to see that Piccolo now had a combat power of 380,000. Hearing the word be beaten, Piccolo turned his face away proudly, and a strong and unyielding spirit rose in his heart. He made up his mind that when he surpassed the 2 brothers one day, he would beat them up severely. But now, no, he was no match for any of their brothers. Piccolo has already felt the powerful aura of Son Goku not far away. Although it is not as vast and powerful as the aura of Son Goiwan in front of him, it is much stronger than his full strength state. And he couldn't be sure if that was Son Goku's full strength. The only thing that was certain was that he couldn't beat him. Goku, who was training in the gravity room, did not explode his energy. He just did not try to restrain his energy and let it dissipate naturally. It's okay, there's no rush. Just pick a room and stay there. When you have time, go and spar with Goku. I'll ask him to control his strength so that you can spar when your strength is similar. Practice is not only about meditation to increase strength, combat skills and combat experience cannot be ignored either. Also, if you have time, you can also learn about the cultural knowledge of the earth. The similarities and differences between the 2 different civilizations should be able to improve your state of mind. In fact, what Sun Weiyuan wanted to say the most was, as the future nanny of our Sun family, you not only need to be powerful, but also cannot be a fish that falls into the net of 9-year compulsory education. Piccolo saw that what Sun Weiyuan said made sense, and out of respect and trust for the Great Elder, he slowly let go of his guard against Sun Weiyuan. Chapter 47. Yamcha said excitedly in the Heavenly Temple, after 3 years, the world's #1 martial arts tournament is about to start again. Tian Xinyan, it won't be so easy for you to win the championship this time, hehe. Tian Xinyan is not like Yamcha. He is taciturn, dedicated to martial arts, and has a strong sense of self-esteem. He did not speak, but secretly clenched his fists. Yamcha, you are too happy too early. Don't forget Goku and senior brother Goten. It's true that our strength has made a leap forward, but do you remember how many times stronger they were than ours 3 years ago? It must be at least 10,000 times. Do you think our strength has increased 10,000 times in these 3 years? Besides, that was 3 years ago. I don't think that senior brother Goten and the others have not improved in strength in these 3 years and are just standing still. Krillin couldn't help but speak when he saw Yamcha's excitement. Yamcha's smile froze on his face. 10,000 times? How could there be such a big improvement? He estimated that after 3 years of hard training, his improvement was probably about 10 times. Krillin, they probably have no interest in the world's #1 martial arts tournament. They didn't participate 3 years ago. The champion of this year's martial arts tournament should be competed among the 4 of us. Yamcha said embarrassedly. It is worth mentioning that Tian Xinyan was noticed by Blonde Ranch while he was training with Master Wu Tian. During that time, Blonde Ranch often robbed people to buy delicious food for Tian Xinyan to nourish his body. Even after Tian Xinyan brought Jiaozi to the Kylin Tower and the Blonde Lanchi failed to get up there by plane, they persisted in setting up camp under the Kylin Tower. Unfortunately, Tian Xinyan was a martial arts fanatic and had been deliberately avoiding Lan Qi. On Baizai Mountain, Piccolo has been looking for Goku to spar with him for the past month, which has made him more clearly aware of how big the gap in strength is between himself and Son Goku. He also practiced in the gravity room with Son Goku, but Son Goiwan didn't care about the effect. Anyway, he left all the matters of Piccolo to Son Goku, and let the love-hate between them develop freely. On the morning of May 6th, while eating, Sun Weiyuan asked Goku, "Goku, today is the day when the world's first martial arts tournament begins. Are you interested in participating in the competition? Are you going to marry Big Pot Brother and I?" Goku asked with his cheeks puffed up and slurred words. "Goku, swallow your food before you talk. There aren't any masters on earth. It would be too bullying if I go there," Sun Weiyuan said while rubbing his temple. "Then I won't go either," Goku said very decisively. If Goku doesn't participate in the World Martial Arts Tournament, then he and Shishi won't be able to meet in the ring. When will my eldest nephew be born? After dinner, Sun Goiwan found his grandfather Sun Gohan. Once the idea was brought up, his grandfather agreed with both hands. Then, without Son Goku's knowledge, the grandfather and grandson went to Ox King to discuss Goku and Shishi's marriage. When Shishi heard that she would be taken to see Goku, she immediately agreed. However, her expression seemed a little strange. She looked surprised, angry, and deeply resentful. Her expression was very rich and colorful, and it was hard to imagine how she could show such complex emotions on her face. The four of them soon arrived at Baizai Mountain, and Sun Weiyuan shouted at the top of his voice, "Goku, don't practice yet, come out quickly, Big Brother has brought you a big surprise." Surprise? Could it be that Big Brother has made some delicious food again? Goku guessed. Goku came out and saw no sign of food. Piccolo followed him out of the gravity room. "Brother, what do you want from me?" Goku asked in confusion. "Shishi, you and Goku can chat about the past. We will leave for a while and not disturb you. Grandpa and I will prepare and hold your wedding tomorrow. Piccolo, you also leave with us. Goku, you stay and have a good chat with Shishi. Don't bully her." "Got it." Goku scratched the back of his head in confusion. "Why did you want to keep me? Weiyuan, is it really okay for us to leave like this?" "Don't worry, Grandpa. Nothing will go wrong. I'll just wait patiently." Sun Goiwan, Piccolo, Ox King, and Grandpa Sun Gohan poked their heads out of the wall and looked at Son Goku and Shishi outside the wall. Soon Shishi shyly walked up to Goku and said with a smile, "Son Goku." Goku blinked his big innocent eyes. "Who are you?" That unscrupulous god, Goku has really forgotten about his future wife. Nothing unexpected will happen, I hope. Sun Weiyuan is also a little uncertain. When Shishi heard what Goku said, her eyebrows raised and her teeth clenched. Son Goku seemed to be able to feel her rising anger from a distance. A lion roared, "Baga!" Even someone as powerful as Goku was frightened, and his body leaned back involuntarily. She is worthy of being the woman who can eat Goku to death. Boring. Piccolo threw out these two words and left a cold back to Weiyuan and the other two. Goku broke out in a cold sweat and said honestly, "But I really don't know you." Shishi almost exploded, but she noticed there were 3 heads on the wall watching her, so she held back. "My name is Shishi. You may remember the story of putting out the fire at Huoyan Mountain." Goku then remembered, and said in surprise, "Shishi, I remember you were a boy, but how did you become a girl? You didn't have 2 such big balls on your chest before. Can a boy become a girl? But Big Brother didn't tell me, it's so confusing." "Baga Yaro, Son Goku, you idiot, I was still young at that time." Shishi shouted with a red face. Sun Goiwan, Grandpa Sun Gohan and Ox King heard what Goku said and were almost knocked off the wall by lightning. Sun Goiwan then asked his grandfather, "Grandpa, didn't you teach Goku this knowledge? Goku has been training with you since he was little. I thought you would teach Goku." "Goiwan, why did Goku and Shishi suddenly start fighting? Should we stop them?" Grandpa Sun Gohan said worriedly. "Grandpa, it's okay. They haven't seen each other for a long time and are a little emotional." Goku was very measured in his actions. There was a little misunderstanding between the couple. They will talk it out later. As the saying goes, husband and wife fight at the head of the bed and make up at the foot of the bed. We'd better not get involved, so as not to make things worse. As he said this, Sun Weiyuan walked out of the wall openly, took out 3 small stools and a coffee table, made a pot of tea, and put watermelon, cantaloupe, peanuts, melon seeds, etc. on the table. Grandpa and Uncle Ox King, stop leaning on the wall. Come down and let's drink tea, eat something, chat, and arrange marriages for these two young people. Sun Weiyuan said in a mature manner. Chapter 48. Seeing Goku being chased and beaten by Shishi without fighting back, but just dodging and occasionally blocking, Sun Weiyuan thought to himself, Goku is a bit useless. He dares not fight back before getting married. He is destined to have no status in the family after getting married. It's sad. After the birth of the eldest nephew, he will definitely be in a low position in the family. He can't escape. You have to follow your eldest brother. How did the throne of the family come from? After a long time, Shishi was exhausted and out of breath. He could not fight Goku for another 300 rounds. On the other hand, Goku was calm and composed, and he didn't even take a breath. With a small body like Shishi, even if there were 10 or 8 Gokus, they might not be able to make him sweat. Although Goku thought marriage was about eating, he promised Shishi that he would marry her when he grew up, and he made this promise without thinking clearly. However, after he knew that marriage was about two people being together, which was different from what he thought, he still decided to fulfill the promise. Grandpa, you see, there were some twists and turns along the way, but overall it went smoothly. Goku and the others are done, and they can start preparing for their wedding. Sun Goiwan said with a smile on his face when he saw Shishi walking by with her arms around Goku's. Grandpa Sun Gohan also showed a satisfied smile, took a sip of tea, and asked with a smile, Goiwan, Goku's marriage is settled. When are you and the girl named Bulma going to get married? Sun Weiyuan picked up a melon seed and was about to put it in his mouth, but his hand froze. Why don't we discuss Goku's marriage properly? Why do we have to shift the focus to me? He saw Goku, Shishi, and Ox King all grabbed a handful of melon seeds and started cracking them. Grandpa, although Bulma and I have a very good relationship, I don't think it's time to talk about marriage. It's like wine, it still needs to be brewed. As for this matter, haste makes waste. Love can't be rushed. Grandpa, don't worry, I know what's going on. Sun Weiyuan said evasively and vaguely. Although I don't know what you are thinking, Goku, but I can see that the girl likes you very much. During the years when you went out to practice, she often ran all the way to Baizai Mountain to ask me about you. Since you have made plans, I hope you can marry her sooner. You are Goku's elder brother. Looking at his grandfather speaking earnestly, Sun Weiyuan nodded frequently like a chick pecking at rice. Only now did he realize that his grandfather was also very talkative. Brother, we've cracked all the melon seeds. They won't fill us up. When are we going to eat? Goku said while holding his rumbling stomach after he saw his brother finish talking to grandfather. Sun Weiyuan went to Master Roshi first. Is Goku going to get married so soon? Who is going to marry Goku? Master Roshi asked in surprise. Uncle Ox King's daughter Shishi. So it's that fierce girl from back then. Time flies. Her personality is a bit. I hope Goku can handle it. Master Roshi remembered that time when Goku brought Shishi to borrow the palm leaf fan, and Shishi opened his forehead. Goku and Shishi's wedding date is May 8th, which is the day after tomorrow. I will pick you up then. After saying this, Sun Goiwan instant transmission left Kame Island. Master Roshi sighed, Goiwan is such a guy who comes and goes without a trace. Then he lay back on the recliner, took out an H magazine, and laughed out loud with hot steam coming out of his nostrils from time to time. Sun Weiyuan came to the Temple of Heaven, and Krillin, Yamcha, Tien Shinyan, and Jiaozi were startled by the sudden appearance of Sun Weiyuan. Hello, everyone. God, Mr. Popo, long time no see. Sun Weiyuan greeted everyone in the Temple of God. Senior brother Weiyuan, are you also here in the Temple of the Gods to practice? Krillin asked excitedly. No, Goku is getting married the day after tomorrow. If you are free the day after tomorrow, you are welcome to come to Baizai Mountain to attend Goku's wedding. Sun Weiyuan said with a smile. What? Yamcha and Krillin were a little surprised. How could Goku, who was so innocent and even a little silly, get married so soon? Did they underestimate Goku? Was he actually a very talented person? Master Gozen, I wonder how strong you and Goku are now. Krillin has always been curious about this, and this time he couldn't help it and wanted to find out. Yamcha and Tien Shinyan also pricked up their ears, and their curiosity seemed to be no less than Krillin's. Krillin. It's better that you don't know. I'm afraid of hurting your confidence. Are you really sure you want me to tell you? Sun Weiyuan raised his eyebrows and said. Krillin swallowed and said undecidedly, tell me, I really want to know how big the gap between us is. This is what you asked for, Krillin. I'll be frank. Goku's combat power is very close to 3 million, and mine is not much either, just a little over 300 million. Sun Weiyuan said lightly. What? Times 3 Yamcha, Krillin and Tien Shinyan were completely stunned. They were frightened. Goku had a combat power of 3 million, and Sun Goiwan had a combat power of 300 million. The gap was even greater than they had imagined. Yamcha asked unwillingly, Weiyuan, can you measure our current combat power? No problem, Neo, let me show you this combat power detector. Krillin put on the combat power detector and saw that his combat power was 0. Is the combat power detector broken? Why is it showing 00,000? Sun Weiyuan slapped his head and said, sorry, I forgot that you can't use that combat power detector yet, let's change it to this one. He took back the combat power detector with 10,000 units from Krillin, and took out another one with 1 units and gave it to Krillin. Krillin looked at Sun Weiyuan suspiciously. He didn't know whether he had really forgotten or did it on purpose. I remember that you have a good memory and would not make such a low-level mistake. 1357, is this my current combat power? It turns out that senior brother Weiyuan's combat power is more than 10,000 times greater than mine. Krillin said somewhat frustratedly. Krillin, test our combat power too. Oh. Yamcha, combat power is 1246, Tien Shinyan, combat power is 1487, Jiaozi, combat power is 876. Krillin subconsciously looked at Sun Goiwan, and the detector exploded with a bang. Krillin, this is an old version of the combat power detector. The upper limit is only 1 million. If you exceed the upper limit, it will explode. Why are you testing me for no reason? Hey? What a surprise, I just reacted subconsciously. Krillin touched his bald head and hurriedly explained. Then he realized that didn't senior brother Weiyuan usually restrain his entire aura? Theoretically, the combat power detector couldn't detect combat power, let alone explode. Krillin glanced at Sun Weiyuan and saw that he was looking at him with a smile. A familiar memory quickly took over. Wasn't this the same smile that senior brother Weiyuan used to find all kinds of excuses to pat his forehead when he first started practicing with Master Wu Tian? He reflexively took a few steps back. Sun Weiyuan was stunned. My smile was so sunny and warm, why were you stepping back, Krillin? Chapter 49. After leaving the Temple of the Gods, Sun Weiyuan went to Bulma's house very hesitantly, hoping that the thing he was worried about would not happen. Hey! Weiyuan, are you here to see Bulma? Mrs. Briefs pulled Sun Weiyuan enthusiastically, would you like some snacks? Wow Weiyuan, you're here. As soon as Bulma saw Sun Weiyuan, she quickly stepped forward and hugged his arms tightly. The amazing elasticity and the unique fragrance of a woman rushed into his nostrils, constantly stimulating a sensitive nerve of his. Bulma, here's the thing. My brother Son Goku and Shishi are having a wedding the day after tomorrow, and I came here to invite you to attend. Son Goku said a little nervously. Dr. Briefs didn't have any strange expression, and Mrs. Briefs still had an elegant and calm smile, but Bulma's reaction was a little too big. What? Goku is going to have his wedding the day after tomorrow. Bulma was very surprised. She and Sun Goiwan have been dating for more than 7 years. During this period, they had taken advantage of each other, but the final step had never taken place. She had originally worried whether Wu Yuan had some unspeakable illness, but she had personally checked him several times and found that he was full of energy. But why did Wu Yuan still not take any action towards her even though she had hinted at it countless times? She couldn't understand. Sun Weiyuan noticed Bulma's resentful look, like a woman who had been alone in her room for 20 years. He immediately understood that he might have gone too far. Well, he would just push her down when he has time next time, so that she wouldn't lust for his body every day. Yes, Bulma, do you remember the girl we met in the Fire Mountain 7 years ago when we were looking for the Dragon Ball? Weren't they engaged at that time? I thought they were just kidding back then, but I didn't expect they are really getting married now. Bulma said with a smile on her face. Weiyuan, Bulma called out with the utmost tenderness. When Sun Weiyuan heard this, he got goosebumps all over his body. Damn, when did Bulma become so gentle? It took him a lot of effort to get out of this situation. I really don't have the qualifications to be a scumbag. I am too kind and honest. It takes so much effort to coax Bulma. How can those industrious little bees wander freely among the flowers? What a pity. If I had known I would travel through time, I should have memorized the scumbag's quotes. Now I feel a bit stuck. On May 7th, the World Martial Arts Tournament opened as usual. Son Goku, and Piccolo did not participate. Tien Shinyan, Jiaozi, Krillin, and Yamcha entered the semi-finals. Yamcha once again tragically met Tien Shinyan in the semi-finals and was defeated by Tien Shinyan again. Yamcha was also glad that he was smart enough to defeat Tien Shinyan once when Tien Shinyan just arrived at the Heavenly Temple, otherwise wouldn't he have been losing all the time? Krillin was much stronger than Jiaozi, and he easily entered the finals. He fought with Tien Shinyan for 300 rounds, but he still lost to Tien Shinyan and finished second. On May 8, Goku and Shishi got married, and Bulma's family came except for her missing sister Taisai. Krillin, Tien Shinyan, and others also attended. Surprisingly, the god who had been guarding the temple also came down to attend the wedding. Piccolo and the god met, and their eyes looked at each other for a long time. Piccolo, I didn't expect that the evil in you has completely disappeared in the past 3 years. Humph. Piccolo's white cloak fluttered in the wind. He raised his chin slightly and turned his face to the side, snorting coldly in a very arrogant manner. Bulma was staring at Shishi in her wedding dress in a daze. Sun Weiyuan, Yamcha, Krillin, and others were drinking and playing rock-paper-scissors at the table. They didn't know how to do it at first, but after one round they couldn't stop. Especially Tien Shinyan and Piccolo, who were reluctant at first, but started to fight after losing to Yamcha and Krillin respectively, and the situation became uncontrollable. Yamcha and Krillin were so frightened that seeing the situation was not good, Yamcha suddenly covered his stomach and shouted that he wanted to go to the toilet, and Krillin followed suit and left. Then Tien Shinyan and Piccolo faced off. They were equally matched in the game of rock-paper-scissors, and after a few rounds, they won and lost. But their personalities were so proud, and they had strong self-esteem and a strong desire to win. Sun Weiyuan didn't know how much wine the two of them drank in the end, but they started talking nonsense anyway, and Krillin and Yamcha couldn't pull them apart. Tien Shinyan reeked of alcohol, and Piccolo's emerald green face actually turned red. Sun Weiyuan was amazed. Neither skin nor blood is red, so how did Piccolo manage to blush? The group of people were extremely drunk, so Sun Weiyuan arranged a room for them to stay for one night and leave the next day. Getting married is really troublesome. This was Sun Weiyuan's inner thought. Finally, he was done with his work and could have a good sleep. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. Sun Weiyuan opened the door and saw Bulma in pajamas. He could smell some alcohol when he got closer. Her pretty face was flushed. He didn't know if it was because of the alcohol or because she was thinking about something inappropriate for children. Bulma, why are you looking for me when you're not sleeping in your room? Sun Weiyuan suppressed the restlessness in his body and asked in a calm tone. Weiyuan, let me in first. Bulma said while looking around like a thief. You shouldn't have let me in. Ugh. Don't let your imagination run wild. In just a moment, Sun Weiyuan's brainwaves became 10 times more active, and he almost had an epileptic seizure. He stuck his head out of the door and looked around, then pulled Bulma into the room and quickly locked the door. Before Sun Weiyuan could make any move, he heard Goku's fussing voice, Shishi, just go to sleep, why are you taking off my clothes? Is this how you have to do it when you get married? But I don't understand. Big brother, come here and teach me. Sun Weiyuan covered his face. With this brother, should I cry or laugh? I can't do anything about that, big brother. I can't teach you things that you are born with, and neither can I. Grandpa Son Gohan is still awake in his room, looking a little dark. He only knew that Goku was very simple before, but now he seems to be a little bit stupid. Goku is not a competent big brother. He even forgot to teach Goku about such an important matter. Mrs. Briefs covered her mouth and laughed secretly. On-site guidance, young people nowadays are so open-minded. Bulma looked at Sun Weiyuan with a strange expression. Could he have some problem that I haven't discovered? Never mind. Business is more important. Just when Sun Goiwan and Bulma were about to get to the point and act like adults, Goku suddenly got a seizure and let out an angry roar that shook the entire villa, scaring the two of them. There's something wrong with Goku, I have to go check it out. His combat power seems to have increased to 3 million. Bulma, quickly put on your clothes. Sun Weiyuan's face became very interesting. What a sin, I didn't expect such an accident to happen. Bulma was stunned. What did you say? I risked everything, and you tell me this? Chapter 50. As if sensing the effort gradually rising in Bulma, Sun Goiwan quickly explained, hurry up and get dressed. I'm worried that if we go too late, Goku will overturn the villa. Bulma was puzzled. Why did Goku destroy the villa for no reason? She quickly realized that it was not without reason. Goku's voice just now was very abnormal. You actually killed my eldest brother. I will never let you go. Ah! The entire villa, or rather the entire Baizai mountain as the starting point, was shaking in all directions. Sun Weiyuan had made a wish to Shenron of Namek to strengthen the earth, and it was not known whether the entire earth was shaking violently now. The sky, which was originally dark at night, became even darker at this moment, bringing an indescribable sense of oppression to people. Then, lightning snakes flashed in the sky. The people in the villa woke up and ran out, looking at Son Goku's room in confusion. Many ordinary people who were sleeping thought that an earthquake had come. Some ran out of the house, some hurriedly rolled under the bed, and some jumped directly from the 5th floor. Sun Goiwan's instant transmission appeared in Goku's room, but his face looked a little dark. What the hell is Shenron Porunga doing? Shouldn't it be enough to let Goku get angry when his power reaches 3 million? What's the situation now that Goku is screaming at the top of his lungs that he is being killed? The next second, Goku burst out with golden light, his aura rising steadily, rushing straight to the ceiling of the house, and with a bang, the roof disappeared. Sun Weiyuan rubbed his brows and said, Goku, we haven't even had a wedding night with you yet, and you've already torn down most of the roof of the villa along with the new house. Seeing that Shishi was frightened, Sun Goiwan used instant transmission to appear behind Goku and kicked him sharply on the butt. Goku, who was still screaming ah, was kicked high into the air. JFEI, it seems Shenron Porunga has dragged Goku into the illusion it created. In the illusion, I was taken away to be sacrificed to the heavens. This is Krillin's role, it doesn't belong to me. Shenron Porunga has gone too far. Sun Weiyuan complained in his heart. A loud shout came out, Goku, wake up! Wake up! The sound waves were like substance, and old Sun Gohan and others below felt their ears buzzing. Bulma muttered, when did Weiyuan's voice become so loud? But Goku was not awake, his body's strength was out of control, and his eyes no longer had the simplicity and innocence of the past. He looked at Sun Goiwan with a bit of anger and irritability. What's the matter? You still want to fight with Big Brother? Sun Weiyuan rolled up his sleeves and seemed like he was going to beat Goku at the next moment. Kill you, I'm going to kill you. Krillin and Yamcha were very confused. What happened to Goku? His whole body was filled with terrifying energy, and the golden light was dazzling. Why did his black hair turn yellow? Bulma, do you know what's going on? Krillin asked. Bulma shook her head and said, I don't know either. Maybe Weiyuan is the only one who knows the reason. Shortly after attending Goku's wedding, the god returned to the Temple of the Gods and left without even eating the banquet. P.S. Namek people do not need to eat and can survive by drinking only water, but referring to Piccolo Daimao, it is speculated that Namek people can also eat food. What's wrong with Goku? What a terrifying power! I hope Goku can control him. Sweat was dripping from the green skin of the god. King Kai, who was far away on planet Kai, also began to notice what was happening on Earth, and he thought of a legend about the Saiyan Golden Warrior. That's right, looking at Goku's situation, he is a Super Saiyan, which is possible only once every 1,000 years. The legend of the Golden Warrior that has been passed down among the Ice Demon clan turns out to be real. Goku's current strength has surpassed Frieza's full strength state, it's really great. King Kai laughed happily, while his pet gorilla Bobris next to him looked on in confusion. Sun Goiwan and Son Goku were already fighting each other. Their high-speed collision in the sky left a trail of afterimages. No one on the ground could see clearly how the two were fighting. Piccolo gritted his teeth and whispered, damn it, I didn't expect the gap to be so big. This was also a big blow to Tien Shinyan, who was obsessed with martial arts. Krillin had long been accustomed to shocks and he was much calmer than others. Shishi looked at Goku very worriedly, and Son Gohan was also worried, but he knew that Goku were much stronger than him and he couldn't help. He hoped that Goku could control the situation. Loud rumbling noises continued to be heard, and facing Goku's violent attack, Wei Yuan easily blocked it. Kameha Pai Chi Gong Wave, Humi Humi Ha. Sun Goiwan didn't care at first, but the next moment Son Goku instant transmission appeared not far behind his head. FK. When did Goku learn instant transmission? If it were someone weaker, he would have been destroyed by you. But your brother is still your brother. After Sun Wei Yuan finished speaking, he released more than 310 million auras without reservation. Son Goku's Kamehameha wave was instantly pressed back, and bang, Goku was blown away. Sun Wei Yuan immediately stepped forward and attacked Goku without any courtesy. I kept you awake late at night, I kept you from entering the bridal chamber, I kept you from giving me a nephew as soon as possible, I kept you from waking up your elder brother and sister-in-law, I kept you from demolishing the villa, that's free. I kept you from disturbing me and Bulma. Sun Wei Yuan's moves became more and more fluent, and he felt more and more relaxed. This was the conclusion he had drawn after more than 10 years of exploration on the correct way to use his younger brother. Beating his younger brother on a rainy day is a good idea if he has nothing to do. He had already gained experience in beating people, knowing how to use clever strength, where to hit, and how much strength to use, so as to make Goku feel pain while not hurting his body too much, avoiding all vital parts, and not leaving too obvious marks. Since his grandfather couldn't see the process and there were no obvious marks left, he wouldn't blame himself. After a long time, Goku finally couldn't bear it anymore. Brother, stop hitting me, I give up. It's true that he likes fighting, but this kind of battle where he can't even touch the corner of Sun Wei Yuan's clothes is very frustrating, and the place where his brother hit him hurts. Don't worry, Goku. I think you still have a lot of potential to get beaten, that has not been tapped yet. Haha, Sun Wei Yuan almost laughed out loud. He actually noticed that Goku had woken up a long time ago, but Goku wanted to challenge his big brother's authority just because his strength increased suddenly. He let you pretend to be confused and didn't even tell you when you woke up. After a long time, the two of them had unknowingly gone far away from the range of Baizai Mountain. At a certain moment, Sun Goiwan realized that he seemed to have used a little too much force, and he lost himself in the beating of Goku, leaving him with a black eye and a swollen face, so swollen that even his brother couldn't recognize him. Ahem. Goku, we've been out for a long time. Come and eat a senzu bean to recover. We should go back later, otherwise Grandpa will be worried. Sun Wei Yuan said as he took out a senzu bean and gave it to Goku. Although Son Goku was a little depressed after being beaten, he ate a senzu bean without thinking too much. All the injuries on his body were healed, and he was no longer bruised and swollen. Seeing this, Sun Wei Yuan showed a satisfied smile. Grandpa would no longer think that I was too harsh in bullying my brother. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you're notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.